going on, everybody? Welcome back to the conversation today. And today we'll be doing a call-in show, and we'll be talking everything going on with the Premier League, how we felt about how the season ended, and everything else. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Anybody who wants to hop on to talk some ball and who doesn't want to do, and who wants to just have a nice overall talk with what's going on with in the Premier League, more than welcome to hop on. So, the link is pinned. Everybody's welcome to hop on. Big up Quaja. Big up Chike. Big up Brenny. Appreciate you stopping by, my guy. Hey, big up Jim. Big up the whole crew. Big up the usual legends that are hopping on. Listen, I mean, there's so much conversation going on. There's so much stuff going on when you look at it. There's been rumor now talking about City's getting a big dump load of money. Speaking of City, what's going on, my guy?
Tomorrow's going to be the greatest day of all time.
It's just game one. What do you mean?
Gianni, if we take game one tomorrow, myself and a lot of New Yorkers are going to say sweep. And believe me, you will hear it from me.
You guys are not sweeping the Spurs. I'm willing to bet some money they're not beating this. They're not sweeping the Spurs. I think whoever wins, whether it's you guys or the Spurs, it's going 6 games at least.
Well, I don't know if you saw my subtitle, but I literally put it, and you'll see it in a minute. I'm going Knicks in 6. I'm going to pull Taryn and say Knicks in 6.
I can believe it. I think the Knicks, like I said, whoever wins between the Knicks or the Spurs, I think it goes 6 games, either or. I don't see a 7-game series, and I think the whole deciding factor of this is how well Brunson's going to handle getting to the hole with Wemby. If Wemby starts asserting himself early on, I don't think you guys are going to have as good as a time as you guys think you guys are going to have, in my personal opinion. But that's neither here nor there. Big up Macy. Big up Jim.
Macy. Big up Jim.
Thank you. Yeah. Obviously, we saw the end of the Champions League final. I was upset that we didn't win, but I was not really surprised on how the whole game went, if I'm being quite honest. I figured that it was going to be that. I called that the game was going to go to penalties. Everybody said I was nuts.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I said it was going to be penalties.
I said the score would be 2-2, and I thought Arsenal would win 5-3 on penalties. Now,
we weren't that far off.
Here's the problem at the end of the day. The problem is that, one, Gabriel Magalhaes, if he was going to take a penalty, since he was taking a penalty, he should have been either the second or the third shooter, not the fifth. Yeah. You don't put a center back. People. The thing is people were, Gabby Magalhaes, he stepped up. Listen, man, I'm sorry. Magalhaes, I think people were thinking way too much of Rudiger with Madrid in the recent years, with Rudiger taking penalties and penalty shootout. But Rudiger's been there and done it way more than Gabby Magalhaes has. And that's no slag at Gabby, because I think Gabby and Saliba are 2 of the best center backs, and I think Gabby's better than Rudiger. But the problem is that you've never been in that position before. That was the biggest game of Arsenal's club history as far as in the international stage, that game. So it is what it is as far as that. Now, there's been a whole lot of talk that the Kroenkes, especially after the parade and everything else, are going to be dumping money into Arsenal. There's been a rumor. I don't know how true it is, because I haven't heard too many people in England talking about it, but in Italy, there has been rumor that City is going to dump about £300 million into Enzo Maresca's budget this year for completely retooling the team. Because there's early indications that even though Barcelona got shut down because they don't have the money, well, apparently didn't have the money until they started spending crazily.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
they spent $80 million on Gordon, and I think they're fucking retarded for buying him for $80 million, because there's a lot better players for $80 million
than him, 100%.
But there's rumors now that it's starting to pick up some pace in Italy that City's going to be the one to buy Bastoni. There's also been rumors that Liverpool is trying to get Bastoni as well. Now that Konate, it seems, is signing on as a free agent with
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, I mean, what do you guys, for Jim and Macy first, if I gave you 4 options as far as what positions you think we need to strengthen? What would be the main ones that you guys would go after? Because for me, I think it's the left wing, and I think whoever needs to be the midfielder paired up with Rice. Because for me, I think Zubamendi needs to go. And then after the left wing and in the midfield, the next most important thing is to permanently sign Hincapié, because Hincapié is linked with Barcelona now to possibly be one of their new center backs. So what if you had 4 positions to sign, where do you think are the most important places to sign players? Macy, I'll start with you.
Well, to your point, Gianni, I think we need, like you said, we need a left winger, because for me, because we know that Martinelli is leaving this summer, which has to be true, because Martinelli has been at the club and he's not been doing a fine job for us this season. So we're gonna have to find somebody to like compete with Trossard in that left wing spot. And also we need another left back, because if Encampie is going to Barcelona, then we're gonna have to find somebody to cover in for Calafiori if he gets injured. And listen, I'm not a big fan of Calafiori. I think the one left back we need to get rid of is Calafiori, because he was the one that said in his press conference that it's his destiny to go back to Roma because he has unfinished business. So
Yep.
I find that interview very baffling.
He said that again recently, Macy. Did you see that?
Well, he said he wants to go back to Roma.
He said the same thing again like a day or two ago, right after the Champions League final, that he is unfinished business at Rome still. So I think Calafiori's got to go. First of all, I think he's a fucking scrub to begin with.
How can he say that in front of the whole world when he represents our football club, Gianni? It's just embarrassing. How can these players sit in their press conferences saying, "Oh, it's my destiny to go back to Italy. It's my dream to go back to Spain"? Come on. You're part of Arsenal Football Club. You wanted to come to this club because this is your dream. So why do you have to sit in your press conferences saying that it's your destiny to go back to your own to go back and play for the club that you used to play for? If you don't want to be at Arsenal, then just get the fuck out. Because these players, I don't know what goes through their minds when they say that in their press conferences, Gianni. It's just absolutely baffling. So we need a left winger. We need a left back. If Calafiori or Encampie, if one of them leaves the football club, personally, I don't want Encampie to leave. I don't either. He's been our best left back this season. It will be a shame if he goes to Barcelona. So we need to keep Encampie, and we need to find a left back to challenge Encampie if he gets injured this season. So we need somebody to cover in for Encampie. And also we need a right winger, because Madueke has been absolutely shocking for us. In the Champions League, he was terrible. Yeah. Throughout the whole game, he was terrible. At one time when he got the ball, he was drifting forward. Bro, why can't you just cross the ball? Stop this whole tiki-taka football. You're not Ronaldinho. How many times do we have to say this to you? Stop trying to be like Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho, if he comes out of retirement, he could at least show you on how to perform better, because I'm sick and tired of our fan base comparing the players that we have to the players of the past. Madueke as the next Ronaldinho, Martinelli as the next Cafu. Come on. I'm just sick and tired of all of the generation that we have to the generation of the past. The generation of the past was far superior to the players that we have today. And personally, we also need another striker, because Kai Havertz ain't going to be at the club for too long. Despite the fact that he scored against PSG, he didn't do nothing the whole 90 minutes, because Lee Gunner, big up to Lee Gunner, by the way. I understand that he believed that Kai Havertz was playing absolutely brilliant. Personally, Kai Havertz didn't do nothing the whole 90 minutes. So we have to sell Kai Havertz this summer. We also have to get rid of Gabriel Jesus as well, because there's been reports of AC Milan being linked with him. So this is our opportunity to sell him to Italy.
They're not going to buy him. I can guarantee you this right now. Them not getting champion. AC Milan and Juventus not getting Champions League money, do not expect them to be making any purchases from Arsenal. Don't expect it. They're broke. They're
see.
broke.
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
Yeah. We also need another number 10 because Odegaard ain't gonna be at the club for too long because we have to sell that scrubby Norwegian homelander. We
Yeah.
can't because
Yeah, I think-
because Odegaard was terrible as well against PSG too. Like, what did he actually do apart from that assist for Kai Havertz? Because yeah, that was it. That was the only good thing he did. But apart from that, he was a shadow in that game. He was getting overrun in that midfield by Fabian Ruiz and Vitinha. They absolutely scored him off the park in that Champions League final. Odegaard has to go. Zubamendi has to go. I mean, what did Zubamendi do in the Champions League final? Like, what did he actually do? And this goes to the fact that the guy is good at going forward, but when it comes to like going back, he's terrible because he gets overrun so easily in midfield when he tries to go back all the time. So that's another one we need to get rid of, and we also have to find a midfielder to compete alongside Declan Rice. And I also heard reports of Declan Rice being linked to Real Madrid.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm not too worried about Rice going to Real Madrid because I don't think Real Madrid is going to spend a crazy amount of money. I think the thing about Real Madrid is this. I don't think Madrid is going to spend a boatload of cash until we see what the outcome of this election is going to be. If the election's going to, because here's the thing. Yeah, Jose Mourinho may be the manager for right now. The problem is that was Perez's signing. Jose Mourinho could very easily get sacked if the new regime gets voted in and Florentino gets voted out. Because if you listen to Sam and everything else, the fan base at Real Madrid are not happy with Florentino Perez's decisions, especially over the last 2 years of them walking away with no trophies. So
I see.
I don't think Declan Rice is going to be on the cards for Real Madrid.
Nice.
I think for me, I'm fine with. I think for me, the question is as far as the midfield is: do you go young with a midfielder or do you go with experience? Because for me in the final, I'll be honest with you, I think Miles Lewis-Skelly through the last 5 games of the season, helping us get over the line. Our offense looked much better as far as fluid motion from playing out from the back and going forward. It looked 10 times better with Miles Lewis-Skelly than it did with Zubamendi the entire season. So for me,
100%.
I think Lewis-Skelly has earned his place in the squad. Me personally, I think Odegaard, Havertz, and Jesus and Martinelli should be the first 4 to be shown the door out of the club. And I think, like I said, I've been saying this in my personal opinion, the left winger I'm signing is Rodgers. Everybody's talking about, we need to get Rodgers to be the number 10. No, I'm cool. Put Rodgers on the left wing, make Eze the starting 10, and leave Saka on the right, and you see what happens going into the season. But you need to get proper ballers that you're going to be able to get to be backups for these guys that can also compete with them for their starting position. I'm not trying to see no type of nonsense here where we're going to make another massive signing and then all of a sudden we're going to push somebody off to the bench who doesn't need to. Yeah, and shout out to Bobs. Big up Suge as well. Big up Suge every time. Hope all is well with you, man. Like what Bob's saying, I think Ethan Nwaneri, they're talking about they're going to sell Ethan Nwaneri to Como. I do not want to see him going to Como. I would rather see Ethan in MLS. I think Ethan and MLS need to be a big part of this team going forward next year because we're going to need fresh legs.
The problem is, Gianni, the manager doesn't put faith in them. That's the problem, because he had no choice but to start Skelly in like the last remaining games of the season en route to us winning the Premier League title and the Champions League final. He had no choice though. So this is why Arteta has to start. He has to take that risk of starting Skelly and Ethan and Dowman next season because, like, I just don't understand. Like, I just want to see these young players like grow together, like become the next generational talent for Arsenal. But the problem is this manager is holding them back, Gianni.
Yeah, I mean the thing is with me is that I believe the manager's holding him back. But what I will give a little leeway for Arteta is the last 5 games. Once we lost the game to City in the league where they drew level with us, him replacing Zubamendi and starting Skelly, I think showed a little bit of a glimmer of hope as far as the league went. That Arteta realized that Zubamendi's not going to work out, and I think Zubamendi needs to be sold as well. I don't think Zubamendi needs to stay on unless he's going to be a bench player for Declan Rice and be the rotation defensive midfielder. Besides that, I don't think he should be at the club. Real quick, big up Suj, man. I'm hoping your surgery goes real well, my guy. I hope you have a good surgery and you have a very fast recovery, and hope all is well with you, my man. Jim, what do you think are the 4 main signings that Arsenal need to look at coming into this next year?
Well, thanks for having me on, as always.
Big up Waffle Don every time.
Waffle. Well, we need to sign out a Bournemouth player. I can't remember his name. Groupie. Yeah.
Groupie.
Yeah, we need to sign him.
I disagree.
Oh,
I'm not, brother. Here's the thing with me, man. I'm not taking chances on a one-off year for 100 million again. We've been bitten the ass too many times with these crazy signings. I need somebody who's consistent. I'm not taking a chance on Krupi. If that means I got to spend 120 million next season because he did it again, fine. It's only 20 million more if Arsenal's got all this money that the Cronkies are saying. I'm not taking a chance on these young kids who are not proven. That's just my personal opinion.
yeah, that's fine. And figure of Alvarez or something. But he's been linked with Barcelona, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard getting over the line. And there's this other player. What was it now?
Rogers?
Yeah, Rodgers, yeah.
Yeah, that's who I
I
want.
would take him at Arsenal because, you know, he's been.
Apparently, Northside put on his video of Rashford being linked to Arsenal. I
No,
do not,
I don't want
No. I don't want Rashford.
I don't want no type of
I do not
bullshit.
want. Yeah, not. I don't want
He's a scrub,
Rashford.
Rashford, to be honest.
I would take Rashford as a bench player, but I'm not paying him that
That's a bench player,
£350,000.
Yeah, me neither. I mean,
Marcus Rashford ain't worth £350,000 a week no more. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Whoever's trying to take me on that contract is smoking dope.
I will not take Garnacho as well. Take Garnacho. No
I'll
way.
also not take Barcola either because
I
a
don't
lot,
want no Chelsea
a
players.
lot of top gooners are saying, "Oh, let's get Barcola because he's a very effective player, bro." Did you see that miss in the Champions League final? He could have nearly ended our final right there. But the fact that he missed that opportunity was absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Barcola's not a very Barcola's a bit overrated in my book because he's not good at finishing it. He's not good at finishing his dinner. So I wouldn't take Barcola at Arsenal.
No, I wouldn't.
Barcola is the French Madueke. That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh, my
I
God.
just wouldn't take Barcola at Arsenal because he's not good at finishing his chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Quajo, same question to you. What are the 4 for signings as far as positions? What do you think are the 4 main signings that we need to make coming into this season?
First of all, big up Gianni, big up the panel, big up to the chat as always. Yeah, it's a massive summer coming up for us. I know it's not easy defending the title because, I mean, the last team to defend back-to-back titles was Manchester City. So big up to Chica as always.
Thank you.
When you look at
Big up
the
JC.
signings, we need a left back, a right back, because we know Timber, we cannot just use Timber for the whole time. And by the way, Josh Nichols is left, so another right back that's gone. We cannot use Ben White because Ben White's been ruined by this manager, and I think he needs to go as well.
Yeah.
We've got Mosquera, but I want to see a right back, a left back, because we need to sign in Cappy on a permanent, and maybe as a left back, maybe we can get Tariq Mitchell or Lewis Hall, someone like that. I think that would be good. A right back, we need a proper right back because I feel like we need cover for Timber because we know that next season we got to rotate few games and we cannot overplay Timber because if we do, he'll get injured. That means we have to play Ben White or Mosquera. So maybe a right back. I can't think of a right back, but if someone can help me, that would be great. maybe another centre mid, because I feel like Declan Rice is very good in the 6, but I don't want to see him anywhere near the 8. I think him in the 6, he can do all the defensive work, and it's shown games that he's good in the 6. In the 8, I know Lewis Skelly can do it, but we can't just rely on Lewis Skelly, so we need another centre mid. Maybe a Tonali would help. Maybe Rice 6, Tonali 8 as a 10. We need a left winger. That's not even a debate. I think maybe we could go for Rodgers on the left, but I know we can get the signings. But the problem is this manager's style of play. He's going to play 6-4-0. As you know, the wingers, they're going to track back because, you know, the fullbacks out of position. Arteta will tell his players to track back. So I know we can get the players, but they're just going to have to track back. And we play 6-4-0 because our wingers are like wing backs, you know what I'm saying? So I'll get Rodgers. I mean, if Berta wants to try and buy Rashford, don't even use him as a starter. Put him as a bench. But listen, we need a backup striker because Jesus and Havertz are not good enough as backup strikers, and we can't just use Gyökeres only. So a backup striker. I don't know if we need another centre back because I know we need to rotate, but Saliba, Gabriel, you know, we need them to rest. I know we can use Mosquera, but we need a little bit more centre backs just to give them cover. So, by the way, I don't want to see any more goalkeepers because we spent most of the billion on goalkeepers. We cannot do that. Our attack needs to improve, the midfield and the defense as well.
I hear it. This is a good shout from Bob. Mukiel is a cover for both right back and center back from Sunderland is actually a really good shout. Mukiel you can probably get for cheap. And he is used to he is used to playing in big games. He was a solid option for PSG for quite a long time when you look at the time period when he was there before PSG turned this out. Chike, you have a situation where it sounds like Bernardo Silva's going to Barcelona. Rodri sounds like he may be going to Real Madrid. He's keeping it much more hush-hush and waiting to see after the World Cup. And there's rumor that Tijjani Reinders is leaving to go to Atletico Madrid, which I actually don't think that's a bad sale because Reinders is
Really
over in my book. You know, I all these people that overhyped fucking Reinders clearly never watched him at the City A because he sucked ass at AC Milan. But if you lose those two guys, obviously we've talked. You need to. I think you need like another 2 to 3 center backs, in my opinion, at City. You know, there's the talk that Vardiol could potentially be leaving as well. I
heard that.
I don't know how true that is, but if you were to lose both Bernardo Silva and Rodri, who would you be looking at in the midfield? And then after those two midfielders, obviously you said the defense needed an overhaul as well. So what do you think are the 4 main signings for City coming into next year?
Center back, fullback, 6 and 8.
What fullback side?
Both.
Really?
Oh yeah, we need, but we literally have no clear right back. We have no clear left back. Center back, we need. I would take a Bastoni in a heartbeat. We also need someone else because to be honest with you, DS is probably needs to be sold as well because the guy hasn't played a minute in God knows how long, and I don't want someone that's going to be here to literally not play a minute. So that's 2. So that's 4 players. Then potentially Rodri is going to go, which again is still on the hush hush. But to me, because it's on the hush hush, to me that sounds like he's going. So we have to replace him. Bernardo Silva, we already knew was going, which is when he's going to Barcelona, which is quite cool because I like Barca as my second team. So we need to replace him potentially with an Adam Wharton. If Rodri goes, see, it's very hard to replace a player like Rodri. But he needs to be replaced.
Would you take Wharton and Elliot Anderson?
Yes.
Are you not going to use like Nico Gonzalez because since Rodri's been out the start of the season, he looked in better form than Rodri.
He's not ready to be the starting number 6 for City. I think Nico Gonzalez was a fill-in player. I'll be honest with you. I'd be shocked if Nico Gonzalez stays at City past this season as a bench player. I just don't see
Same.
what people think about him. But
Or
that,
seeing him.
then my question for you is this: if you get another left back, you have Ainori. Now, yeah, Ainori's been injured for majority of the season, but if he comes back, doesn't that mean that you would then move Nico O'Reilly into that number 8 position?
That is yes, that is a possibility, and he is more of a midfielder than a fullback, but he actually has played well at fullback. So there's one less hole to fill, but we still need to replace another one because 1A is not going to be enough for the whole season.
Right.
The player who I actually really wanted, and he actually might go to Madrid, and I don't know how true this is Denzel Dumfries, player from Inter in the Netherlands. He's a quality player, and I would take him. I don't know if you agree or disagree, Gianni, because you watch a lot more Inter than I do.
For you, I wouldn't take him. He's 31 years. He's turning 30 or 31 years old. He's old. This isn't
30 old.
Yeah, he's been at Inter. Inter won the league in the 2020, 2021, and that was Hakimi. Wow. So Dumfries has been there since the 2021-2022 season. So he's been there for 5 years. And I think they got him when he was 26. He's not young. Like, that's the thing about Dumfries. He's not young. I think he just turned 30. He'll be 31 towards the end of next season. So it's like, for me, I don't see Dumfries. First of all, big up PFC. I personally don't see Dumfries. I like that Mateus Nunes. I wasn't sold on him at first, but I think last season he played much better.
He did.
I personally don't think Dumfries fits your system. In my personal opinion,
he's already gone.
No one's confirmed that he's gone yet.
Yeah, it's not been confirmed.
Agreed. Here we go.
Oh, it just came. Here we go from Fabrizio. Oh, okay.
Gone.
I don't trust Fabrizio as far as I can throw him. Just saying.
I don't either, because
I don't trust him.
There's been plenty of transfers where it's fallen apart on what he said and everything else. Now, Dumfries was the only reason why I see people talking about Dumfries is because it was only like a 25 million euros for what's it called? 25 million euros
release clause.
Release clause from Inter, so it was cheap. And I really, again, Dumfries, his season was 2 years ago. This past year, Dumfries wasn't all that. So that's why I'm like, I think as far as City on a rebuild, it is what it is. Now, does Dumfries? I personally think Dumfries is going to start over Trent Alexander-Arnold, if I'm being quite honest with you, because I don't see how Jose Mourinho is going to allow Trent Alexander-Arnold to play the way he wants to play, unless Trent becomes that much better under Jose defensively. I don't see Jose really rocking with him, if I'm being quite honest with you. So I can see Dumfries is going to be playing a lot more minutes than him. Big up TJ, my guy. Big up TJ Warren every time. Big up Omar too.
Big up TJ.
Big up Binks too. Big up Binks too.
Big up.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about this talk about City selling Savio to Spurs?
Hate it. Savio's a great player, great winger. He's gonna go to a team that really should have been relegated, and this is why the Premier League is the PR Premier League, because when they want certain things, they're gonna make sure certain things happen. Like there was no way that they were gonna let Spurs get relegated, because they bring that much dough to the Premier League, and they want to keep the original six.
West Ham
sucks that he's gonna go. I just don't want him to
shot themselves in the foot. I disagree. West Ham shot themselves in the foot. West Ham shot themselves in the foot. I'm not buying that they wanted. Ciao, Faizan. I'm not buying the fact that they wanted. Yes, the Premier League wanted Spurs to stay up because of the amount of money they generate. I agree with you on that. But at the same time, West Ham didn't do any favors for themselves with their stupidity. I'm sorry. Nuno Espirito Santo, for me, is not that great of a manager. I'm sorry. I'm not prescribing to this idea that everybody was talking about with him. Number one. Number two, West Ham got that entire scenario wrong when they brought in Julian Lopetegui, because Lopetegui Sevilla played exactly the same way as West Ham. They were just way better defensively than what West Ham had to offer, and both teams couldn't score goals to save their ass. So I'm not. West Ham is their own worst enemy more than it is the Premier League wanting Spurs to stay up, in my personal opinion. As far as Savio's, this is going to be a make or break year for Savio. Now, it's also for me going to depend if he's played in his proper position, because Savio for me is an old school winger. He's left footed that needs to play on the left side. He's not an inverted winger like everybody's tried playing him since he left Girona. So I think Savio, it's going to be a make or break season for him. For City, Gianni out here mocking my lookalike cousin Sujer classic. But
Big up Shoes. What a guy.
yeah, but I think PFC, don't remind me. We will be covering the whole Napoli situation with that fucking bum Allegri very soon. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Wasn't he? Didn't he present the Champions League trophy?
Who?
Allegri, doesn't he do that every year?
I don't know what Allegri presents anymore, because Allegri looks like the fucking Mad Hatter on crack. There's no reason for Allegri to even be the manager of Napoli, in my personal opinion. So trust me, I'm not happy about that whole scenario. And
Standards have dropped, Johnny. They dropped.
it's not only standards have dropped. The problem is that De Laurentiis is. I personally think De Laurentiis is doing this to make Napoli look good so he could sell the club. I don't know if you saw that interview that he did. There's been rumors that this American conglomerate is offering $1.5 billion for Napoli to buy.
That's it?
Club. What do you mean that's it? Napoli's not even worth $700 million.
What?
No. The only reason they're offering that much money is because of the fact that of the squad value with some of the other players went up to where they guesstimate that Napoli's squad value is around 400 million. So you basically look at your assets are the players, and then what the actual club is worth is roughly around anywhere between 900 million to a billion. Napoli is not worth that much money if you're looking at a club alone without the assets of players. So that's why I think he's trying to up the ante before he cashes out. Because real quick on the segue with this, De Laurentiis basically gave an interview. He's given two really weird interviews over the last 2 weeks. He had an interview with Antonio Conte celebrating Conte for what he did for 2 years at Napoli, and tried saying that if it wasn't for the injuries, Napoli would have won back-to-back. The problem that I have with that situation is that the whole reason we didn't win is because Conte fucked everything up with him wanting to be a spoiled brat and demanding the players he wanted, got the players he wanted, and then fucked it all up. So Conte wasn't going to win the league because Conte was his own biggest problem, number one. Number two, he's made it sound that he doesn't trust his son, Eduardo, to take over the team, and that he is making it seem like that Aurelio De Laurentiis wants to step away from the day-to-day operations of Napoli. And if that's the case and he doesn't trust his son and he makes every single decision along with the sporting director, with Giovanni Manna, I just don't see why he's going to remain at the club. I think he's going to cash out. And that's the whole thing. I think he's trying to – the whole reason why he's getting Allegri, if you listen to – and the funny thing is about this, I do not respect a lot of opinions as far as the quote-unquote American Napoli fans, because the American Napoli fans come off like Premier League fans. And are forgetting.
Is why I hate sorry, Gianni. This is why I hate Americans talking about Serie A, because at times they just sound like they're completely fucking clueless. I mean, like,
they're not completely clueless, but the points that they were making are stupid, because if you look at majority of the Napoli fans in Italy, majority of the fan base do not want Allegri to come in. I don't care who,
Okay.
I don't care where you look or anything else. It's anywhere between 70 to 80% of the fan base do not want Allegri.
Okay.
The American Napoli fans or the American Serie A content creators or the more English speaking Serie A content creators are all trying to sell this bullshit that this is potentially the same situation as what it was when Allegri followed Conte at Juventus. It's nowhere near the same situation. It's nowhere near. Half of your fucking squad is over 30 years old and just got major injuries. Just all got major injuries last year, and there's no guarantee. The last time Allegri played good-looking football was the 2010-2011 Milan squad. That's it. He hasn't played forward-thinking football since then. He's played the same old defensive, boring, pragmatic bullshit that does not fit the squad that we have. It just doesn't. Conte tried it at the beginning of the year when we won the Scudetto. It didn't work. He had to go to the 4-4-2, play more attacking football, and we won the Scudetto. He tried the 3-4-3 at the beginning of that season. It didn't work. Whether anybody likes it or not, that's part of the reason why Vara wanted out of the club. On top of De Laurentiis is just a hothead and doesn't know when to shut the fuck up at times because he always makes shit bad with certain players. But at the end of the day, Conte was the problem. And for me, I'll be honest with you, this may be, you may call me a negative Napoli fan. I'm hoping Allegri is sacked by the 5th game of the season. Because he's
If you get him.
No, he's signed. He's the manager.
He's a manager.
No.
It's done.
He's the manager.
Here we go by Fabrizio Romano.
Huh?
By Fabrizio Romano, yeah, here we go.
Oh, we didn't even need the here we go. We knew that was happening already in Italy because De Laurentiis is a fucking dumbass at certain times. The whole reason why he got the job over Italiano is because Italiano wasn't going to be a prick and remained a professional. He told De Laurentiis, I'll talk to you in 3 days when I break my contract with Bologna. And De Laurentiis said, I'm not waiting that long, and just went ahead and signed Allegri. That's the whole reason why Allegri's the manager. That's it.
Wait. He couldn't wait 3 days.
No, that's exactly what happened, Antonio. So Italiano was the favorite to take the job. Italiano told De Laurentiis, he goes, I got a meeting with Bologna for compensation to see what he was going to get for compensation off the last year. De Laurentiis said, fuck the compensation, come now, fuck Bologna, and just sign on and we'll get you in. And he said no. He goes, I have to figure this out because I have a connection to Bologna. I'm not going to disrespect the club. And Italiano was being professional about it. De Laurentiis,
but he wants to come, though.
He wanted to come. No, he was going to take the job.
Oh.
Italiano was going to take the job. De Laurentiis said, I'm not waiting 3 days for your answer to go through the legal situation with Bologna, and he chose Allegri. That's the problem. And again, that's why I'm trying to say, as far as Allegri, as far as the situation as Napoli is concerned, for me, De Laurentiis is now starting to become a problem because this is the third fuck up that you've done. You fucked over Ancelotti in his second season by not rebuilding the team when you should have, and then you ended up spending the money anyway for that retard Gattuso to take over the fucking team. Yeah, he won Coppa Italia, but that should have already been in the bag with Ancelotti had you retooled the team. You fucked that one up. You fucked up by hiring Rudy Garcia, who wasn't a good manager for nearly 15 fucking years. Outside of his Lille and his Rome days, he's been a terrible manager overall. And now you're making this. I'm sorry. I think this Allegri situation is going to come back to bite us in the ass because Allegri's already come out and said that he wants De Bruyne to be his main player. The motherfucker hasn't been healthy in 4 years.
Well, there you go, in it.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is on that. Antonio, I'll go to the same thing with what I've asked the guys. Now that the dust settled and everything else coming in next year, what are the 4 main positions you think Arsenal needs to do in order to continue this upward trajectory?
Well, let's see. So there's a few. Right back to back up Timber. Mm-hmm. The left back situation, even though Hincap is there, but Calafiori seems to go way too forward and leaves gaps at the back. We need backups for Saliba and Gabriel. Plus Mosquera, even though he's done a bit well, but he can be rash, aka the final that foul on Kvaratskhelia. The midfield, Zubimendi, he needs to go. Rice and Skelly in the middle is good, but we need backup for that. left wing as well, right wing because Madueke can't cut it, and Saka. Yeah, okay, he's done okay, but he hasn't been impressive. You know, we've got Dowman, Ethan. We don't know whether he's going to be sold. The number 10 with Odegaard because he was trash in the final. Even though we've got Eze, but a backup for him. And striker, we need a few, Johnny.
I think
We need a few, seriously.
what do you make of Arsenal been linked to Rashford? I don't want Rashford at this club.
No.
I'll take Rashford at the club as long as he knows walking in he's not the starting left winger and he's not getting the same wages that he's getting at United. I'm sorry. Marcus Rashford on £350,000 a week is ridiculous. I don't know who the fuck thought that was a smart idea to give him that much money, but I'm sorry. We already got enough problems with paying Kai Havertz £280,000 a week. I don't need to add Rashford to that.
Don't forget Saka.
See,
the motherfucker's getting paid 310,000 pounds a week.
I agree, but here's the problem with Saka.
What's the problem?
The problem with Saka and also with Trossard is you saw the difference the last 5 games of the year with MLS being in the midfield rather than Zubimendi. There's more fluidity as far as free-flowing movement of the ball. It's not as stagnant and held back with Lewis Skelly as the other midfielder paired up with Declan Rice. And when you saw that happen, you saw Declan Rice, you saw Saka and Trossard able to get the ball and be in possession of the ball further up the pitch than rather trying to start possession from carrying it from your 18-yard box all the way to the halfway line. That's not going to happen if you have a more fluid midfielder to go to play next to him. So for me, I want to give Saka at least the benefit of the doubt of one more season, because if you're going to get a better midfielder where he's going to be further up the pitch and it's less time for Saka to be stagnant and stuck outside in that 20-yard, 25-yard mark, instead of being next to the box where he was getting the ball more further up, I like to give him the benefit of the doubt of one more season. Now, if he fucks up next season, ship his ass.
Yeah.
His ass. I don't care. Because the club is the crest on the front is more important than the name on the back. So I'll give him one more year, but it is what it is. The main thing at the end of the day also is I don't want to see no more fucking Chelsea scrubs coming to this fucking team here. Because Chelsea's going to have a fire sale because they have no money as far as what they're going to do. They're going to have to sell players. So I don't even want that fucking bum Enzo Fernandez coming to the team. I don't want to see him in this midfield at all.
John, the only thing is here, we could talk about who we want to come in. Oh, by the way, Johnny, thank you for having me on your channel and big up to the panel. Yeah.
Oh,
so
Antonio.
You discussed this some time ago. One of your live streams in regards to we have to sell. That's the thing, and the thing, we got players who are on high wages. Now, the question is, which club are going to pay those wages? If these players do get sold to other clubs, will they willing to take a pay cut? If those other clubs say so, look, you ain't going to get this man money here like you did at Arsenal, you have to take a pay cut, will they accept that? We may have a possibility of contract being ripped up yet again, which means players going away for free, losing money. Yes, we have money, we're a rich club, so it may not affect us, but it's the principle of having these contracts ripped up yet again. We got so much dead wood that we need to get rid of. There's rumors about Ethan getting sold, which is a shame if that's true. To make some money and all that, to balance the books. You discussed that, Johnny. We got a lot of things to do this summer, and I don't know if everything will be done this summer. It may take 2 to 3 windows to get everything sorted out if we're lucky,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. For me, the number one person I'm selling this year is Martinelli, because Martinelli's books are paid off and Martinelli's only on $180,000 a week. So you can fluctuate with that, and because his books have been paid off, Martinelli is basically like a youth signing. You can make some good coin on him. Saka, here's the thing with Saka. Saka is a youth prodigy, so you'll be able to sell him and it's still pure profit. The bigger thing is what you said, is finding a club that will actually negotiate with him.
Yeah.
That'll negotiate with him as far as the salary. But in those situations, when you got players like that, the salary is more important to get off the books. Same thing with like Havertz. Like for me, if you're selling Havertz, I really don't give a shit. I'll sell Havertz for 15 million pounds for all I give a fuck, because the bigger thing is getting the 280,000 pounds a week off the books. The guy's getting over $1 million a month. That's the bigger key, is to get that off the books, is that massive contract. Because when you get guys off the books with that amount of money, you're getting more money than just a transfer fee in, with releasing that much money as far as the salary, because now you have more money in circulation for your salaries to help downsize as well. So for me, I hear it. There is problems like with Odegaard. If somebody thinks that like the moron Daniel Ornstein that's talking about, oh, we're not going to sell Gabby Jesus for anything less than 20 million pounds. Well, nobody's going to buy him. So you're going to be stuck with him again for the season if you think someone's going to pay 20 million for a guy who can't stay healthy and is getting paid 260,000 a week. That's not going to happen. Like Gabby Jesus needs to go for like 9 million. Put him out there for 9 million pounds, or even put him out there for 10 million euros, and just ship his happy ass to wherever the fuck he's got to go and get the fuck out of the club, because that's way too much money that we're going to be shelling out for a guy who doesn't deserve minutes, let alone being on the squad. In my opinion. So that is a big thing. PFC, Ederson has been one of the best defensive midfielders in Italy for at least the last 4 or 5 years. He's been very good with Atalanta. He's a very good defensive midfielder, but he's also good on the ball. I think if you pair up, if you add another midfielder to the fold, as far as Ederson, and have a rotation where you have Kobe Mainu and maybe another midfielder to play in with Ederson, I think you guys should have a very good midfield coming into next year. He was linked to potentially go to Atletico Madrid last year, but Atletico didn't want to meet the money demands that Atalanta was making. If you're getting him for 45 million euros, I think that's a very good signing, in my personal opinion. Jesus to go easily before Havertz. Havertz at least contributes. Havertz contributes, but he ain't worth a fuck either. I would send him wherever.
Great goal though in the final, though, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
but a blind squirrel
will never be
finds
good.
a nut once in a while. Chica, I'm waiting for my Wizards to be like this one. Brother, the Wizards may never be fucking good again.
The Wizards suck.
The Wizard, take the opportunity to go to as many games as possible, because you can probably get tickets for $2 without shit.
I was about to say, the tickets are free at this point. They suck.
The Wizards
Just walk in.
legit. The Wizards haven't been good since the early 2000s. They had a couple off. They had that one off year with Bradley Beal and John Wall. Besides that, they've been dog shit for eons.
They've been dog shit for donkey's years. That's the same team that had That's the same team that had Michael Jordan for a year. They're never going to be good.
You got to go back to the dinosaur. You got to go back to the dinosaur age for the Wizards to be good. That's how long it's been for that shit fucking team.
Jesus. Actually, I want to ask people this. Why can't football do what American sports do and defer wages like baseball and basketball and the NFL? Why can't they do that? Yes, they should.
We mean like, what do you mean like a give what do you mean like give like the best players the best wages, for example?
No, so like I don't know if any of you watch baseball, but like for example, Shohei's contract is 10 years, $700 million, which is the largest contract in the history of American sports, if I'm not mistaken. But what they did was that they deferred all of that money into the later years so they can give other players like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez. So why can't football do that? So this way they can open up books for certain other players and this way create more cap space, if that makes sense.
Because the Premier League doesn't make anywhere near the amount of money that baseball does. The Premier League,
nowhere close.
Let me tell you something.
Please.
The Premier League is the biggest league in the world when it comes to football. They have no idea what the fuck to do when it comes to marketing. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They don't. They don't. I'm sorry, they don't. From
No,
a business,
you're right, but
don't.
it's hilarious.
how do you get anywhere between 600 to 700 million people a week watching the big game in the Premier League every single week, but you're only worth $7 billion a year? Baseball is worth 12.5 to 13 billion a year. That's
And the
just
NFL's
baseball.
worth $25 billion a year.
Exactly. And the
There you
NFL,
go.
and the Super Bowl only gets about 150 million people, but yet the NFL turns 25 billion a year like clockwork. It's the Premier League, as far as when it comes to marketing, has no idea what the fuck they're doing. No idea what they're doing. Number one. Number two, the Premier League and football in general don't have workers' unions like they have in America.
Yes.
The workers' unions in America is going to protect the players more than what the Premier League does as far as protecting players. You don't have, the Mets situation with Bobby Bonilla.
Yep.
Nobody in the Premier League is going to give a player $1 million a year for 20 years after the fucking.
Read that, CK, if you can.
How much does the Premier League make? Yeah, I actually looked this up. It's $9 billion. Like,
Yeah.
The Premier League makes nowhere
So
near what the
basically,
NFL makes. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so it's 6 billion, and in dollars, 7.7 billion a year.
It's
Not
it's
even, see, not even close, bruv.
No, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Not even
and that's just
close.
the thing. The finances aren't there to be done.
Right.
Like shout out to Aaron.
That's
'cause, like,
being peasants compared to America.
yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. It's not
Isn't
even
it,
close.
Johnny? Percent.
Yeah. They need the Sistema to go over there and show them what the fuck to do as far as making money.
Our system is got by skew, that's a star. I forget about it, man. Not skew, it's not Yabaka. Forget about it.
Please.
No, but
Oh, man.
Go ahead,
But see, here's the thing. He said BBK. Shout out to BBK every time he says
Yes.
Hey, man.
Jesus Christ. But that's
he
a whole
should,
other
he should go to
discussion.
college ball.
Wizards should get rid. Well, they ain't wizards no more. So, yeah.
But
Anyways,
that's
go
the
ahead,
thing.
Johnny.
That's the thing. They don't have the marketing ploy to be able to do that. They don't have the finances coming in the way that people think they do. They just don't. While the Premier League is by far the biggest league in Europe when it comes to money, they're dwarfed. They're not
Yeah.
close to MLB. They're not close to the NBA. They're nowhere near. No sporting league is ever going to be as big as the NFL. It'll never fucking happen.
It will never touch. You will not touch the NFL.
The NFL will forever be the biggest money-making conglomerate there is. It doesn't matter how many viewers you get, because, again, if it came down to viewership, why is the Premier League not the richest league as far as sports in general? It just doesn't work that way.
Mm.
So the thing is they'll never be able to do that, number one. Number two, like I said, the Premier League, they don't have workers' unions.
No.
It's not
Actually, I don't know if they do.
the
but-
players are not protected in England or any league in Europe when it comes to football compared to what the players are in America. It's just not. When you retire, you're not going to get a guaranteed contract. It's not happening. When you retire, you may get a severance package and you're going to leave money on the table. It's not like baseball where if you sign a 10-year, $400 million contract and you blow your leg out and you can't play anymore, you're still going to get every dollar because of the workers' union in America. You're not
Oh,
getting
wow. Okay. Yeah.
that's not happening.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yeah, there's a player, the guy, they call it the Bobby Bonilla rule in America. The
Yeah,
guy's
it's Bobby
been
Bonilla
retired-
Day.
The guy's been retired for 20 years from the New York Mets, and he's been getting $1.5 million for 20 years while being retired a year. You're never going to get that. You're never going to get that from any European.
You ain't getting that anywhere in the world. It's incredible.
Is that yearly, Johnny? Yearly?
Yearly.
Yeah, it's yearly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's from 2000. I read it. I think it's from 2011. Yeah, I think the last year he gets paid is 2035. They did it over 24 years.
Oh, that guy's laughing, man.
The military. It's like a military.
It's the same thing with the
We're the wrong
Japanese
sport.
player. Yeah, it's the same thing with the big Japanese player Otani at the Dodgers. He's only getting paid a couple million a year. He's got a $700 million back end deal coming.
Oh my days.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
This
Wow.
is mad.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's why I'm saying you don't have. Oh, Here we go for Iraola. He's going to be.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
heard about
yeah.
this.
Now's the Liverpool manager now.
Liverpool, yeah.
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 I think he'll do well at Liverpool, to be honest.
Yeah, he probably do well there, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool's got a lot of work to do. If I'm being quite
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
that.
Which
honestly
is
think-
wild to say, considering they spend £500 million and they still have a lot of work to do. But that tells you how well that £500 million was spent.
I think that's why. I think that's why we need to take advantage now as Arsenal. We need to take advantage now.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Agreed.
Chica, what do you think about? Sorry, Chica. What we think about?
No, go
sorry, guys.
No, no,
What we think about Maresca? Honestly speaking,
hate it. Hate
It
it.
makes no sense.
Hate it.
It makes no sense.
It makes zero sense. And sorry to, and I don't mean to go off, but the City getting Maresca, and I know a lot of you don't watch American sports. That's like a team in the NBA or the team in the NFL going after the number 2 at a different team. Like there are people that are just great. They're just great number 2s, but they suck when they become the head coach or the man. No, it makes zero sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And I'll say this: I will not be surprised if he's sacked within 18 months. I will not be surprised if he gets sacked within 18 months.
I think he's gone at the end of the year. If I'm being quite honest with you.
He's gone by December.
That's
I
generous to me.
don't think Maresca will be gone by December. I think Maresca sees a full season because I think, one, I'll be completely honest with you. I think Liverpool got it 1,000,000% wrong not hiring Xabi Alonso over Iraola.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
They got it 1,000,000% wrong on that. And the reason why
Why
I
went
think
to
is
Chelsea?
when you look at Liverpool, how the team is set up, that team is set up to play the 3-4-3 that Xabi Alonso played if he gets new center backs in to replace Mbappe. If you look at who they got, you should be playing Liverpool should be going into next season playing 3-4-3 with Wirtz as the number 10 and having both Ekitike and Isak as the 2 strikers above Wirtz. And then in your midfield, you keep Gravenberch and McAllister as the 2 center midfielders. You get Szoboszlai out to the left wing because Szoboszlai played at the left wing when you look at his time at RB Leipzig, and you give him that floating position, and then you put Frimpong at the right-hand side, and then you surround Van Dijk with 2 new center backs. That's the way. That's why I think Liverpool fucked up. For as far as with Iraola, I honestly thought Iraola would have been better suited going to Chelsea because you go to Chelsea, you're gonna play the same formation. You're gonna play the 4-2-3-1 that Maresca did. You're gonna play more forward-thinking football than that fucking retard Rossignol was. So for me, I thought they got that. I think they got it wrong. Not Chelsea. Chelsea's probably like a pig in shit right now that they were able to beat. Liverpool to Xabi Alonso, because I personally don't agree that Liverpool chose Iraola over Xabi Alonso to me. PFC, here's the thing, man. I think the situation is this. I think Iraola is going to look good at any club there is. The question to be asked for Iraola is, are you going to be able to deal with bigger egos with you going to Liverpool? Because you're walking into an environment right now that, especially with the letter that Salah gave at the end, I think there's a lot of problems going on in that locker room from where Arne Slot had it. And I think I think that's going to be something that needs to be looked at. Now, if Iraola comes in and they give him a couple of signings, like if they rebuild the back line, I think it's a situation where Liverpool can really just turn it right back around and go ahead and win. I've said this. I think Liverpool's the bigger threat to Arsenal going back to back than I think Manchester City is, if I'm being quite honest with you. Because again, I'm not a believer in Maresca being the number 1 at City. I'm not a believer in that whatsoever. I would not be shocked if City falls into the third or fourth spot this year.
Gianni, what do you think of Marco Silva being linked with a job, being offered a job at Benfica?
I think he took it. I think we already got it
Oh,
confirmed.
he did take it.
I think Marco.
Wow.
I think Marco
Okay.
Silva. I think Marco Silva was smart to take that job because Marco Silva, for me, I think is still damaged goods when you look at the amount of money that Everton invested in him at the time and it didn't work out. I think Marco Silva was just too big of a risk. I think Silva needs to go to Benfica, re-win the league with Benfica before you try to take a crack at another.
Yeah,
big
Mason, he's leaving. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
So if Marco Silva is leaving Fulham, then who's going to take over as the next manager for Fulham?
I've heard that.
I have no idea.
No idea.
I heard it was. I heard
Rafinha-
someone put in the chat. They
Rafinha-
said that Gattuso, that bum Gattuso. they
No,
took-
Imagine that.
I would
Gattuso got the
imagine-
job at Lazio. Gattuso got the job at Lazio. And I don't know how the fuck
He's gonna, yeah,
Oh, he's
Gattuso's
gone there. Oh my word.
Oh, my
Lazio
God.
making
Gattuso's
relegated.
gonna absolutely just like ruin Lazio by the time
Oh,
he
my days.
The owner's already ruining Lazio. Him and Gattuso
Ah.
are a match made in heaven. They're two fucking idiots. That can go
Gianni, what do you think of Venezia, Frosinone, and Mozza in the Serie A season next year?
I think Venezia is going to come up and go right back down.
Yeah,
I think Monza is an interesting project if Galliani is still the one that's behind the scenes running it, although I don't know if he is. I think he might have walked away. If he walked away, I wouldn't be shocked if Monza went back down.
Frosinone.
Frosinone, I think, may be able to stay up for a year, but I wouldn't expect them to be a permanent team in Serie A for too long.
The only thing I know about Monza is that they have a former Manchester United player. Omari Forson is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about Monza.
He was a youth player there.
Balotelli used to play for
Yeah.
Monza, I think.
Yeah, it
no
was a huge
way
show.
we should be.
I don't think he played for Monza, Jim. I think Balotelli's career started off. I think his career started at Brescia first.
Oh,
Yeah, he started at Brescia and then he eventually went to Inter.
Yeah.
Wasting
then
talent.
he went to Inter, and then
Helsinki, here's the thing. You're saying no way you should be playing 3-4-3. But at the same time, if you look at your team right now, okay, you want to play 4-2-3-1. Who are your wingers?
Yeah.
Because Gakpo ain't worth a fuck. Gakpo ain't worth shit.
yeah.
Now,
You
if
know
wanna
now that
put-
slot is. You know that slot has left Liverpool. The first thing he's gonna do when he finds a new job is take Gakpo with him. Because
listen, if that's the case, if I'm Liverpool, I will drive fucking Gakpo to wherever he's going because Gakpo is dog shit.
because Gakpo and Slot, they're just
he can fit in my
two
Honda
pieces
CRV, put all his
apart.
luggage in there, and then he can ship out wherever he needs to be fucking shipped out.
If I'm Chiesa and Rio, I'm happy that Slot has gone because the fact that Slot has ruined these two was absolutely disgraceful. Now that if Iriola comes, Chiesa and Rio are finally going to get opportunities to to impress him.
I don't
Hey,
think
Macy.
I think Chiesa's going to
What's up,
Inter.
Antonio?
You know, said about the next Fulham manager. This is the evening standard, by the way. All right, so I don't know how reliable it is.
Yeah.
Arne Slot and Thomas Frank among contenders to become next Fulham manager.
Oh my days. Not on the slot. I'm full of more days.
Fulham should be smart and find a proper manager. I don't think they should get either Slot or Frank.
But he's
Listen, there's talk that Slot's going to AC Milan, which would be absolutely
Wow.
fantastic.
Boys, a man can have
Yeah,
him.
that would be good if he goes to Milan and take Cody Gakpo with him because I think Santi Jimenez is currently there.
Yeah, Santi Jimenez sucks.
Yeah,
He's dog shit.
it's another player that Slot like. I think Slot coached that at Feyenoord.
Gianni, do you think Ederson is a good signing for Manchester United? Yeah, as long as you get another midfielder that complements him well, as far as the more going forward midfielder. I think Ederson's a very good signing, and I'm happy he went to Manchester United because there was talk in Italy that he was going to replace Çalhanoğlu at Inter. If he replaced Çalhanoğlu at Inter, you can bet the house that Inter. I mean, here with Allegri taking over Napoli, you could bet the house that Inter's going to go back to back. So.
Yeah, we'll go back to back into.
Yeah.
Oh, they will. I think they will. But Chiesa is going to leave. I think Chiesa is going to Inter. I wouldn't be surprised if Chiesa ends up at Inter or AC Milan. I don't think he's staying at Liverpool anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should go back. He should.
Yeah, his time at Liverpool hasn't been great. The fact that Slot hasn't used him.
He never went there in the first place.
I agree, Antonio. I absolutely agree. How about Rio? Do you think Rio will stay at Liverpool? Or do you think he'll be loaned out to another club?
I think he'll stay at Liverpool.
No, I think Rio's staying, especially with Iraola coming in. I think.
All right, then that's fine. Because
see, the thing for Liverpool is this: Liverpool need at least 2 new wingers, and they need a whole new back line.
Yeah.
Because Kirkes, yes, maybe Iraola can help Kirkes get back to his potential. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Kirkes, so that's really to be seen. The question, the reason why I said about Slot, and this is to like what Chronic is saying, real quick, Tibbsy, no, it's Bianco is the manager at Inzaghi. Inzaghi got sacked at Monza a while ago. He hasn't been there for a little while.
Is it Paolo Bianco?
Bianco. It's Bianco who's the manager.
Yeah.
I hear this that they're saying that the setup didn't want his power and everything else, but I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if Liverpool at this point in time should be taking a chance on an unproven manager. Yes, Iraola did a fantastic job with Bournemouth, but we also need to keep into context. The big clubs who've dumped a fuck ton of money didn't show up. Chelsea didn't show up last year. A lot of big clubs didn't show up. So while I give Iraola a lot of credit for what he did, going from Bournemouth to Liverpool is a whole different fucking problem.
Yeah, whole different level.
You know, so at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a very interesting situation of what's going on. So that's the only thing that I have to say about that. And that's the only reason why I brought up the 3-4-3 had he gone to Liverpool, because for me, I don't understand why you would have both Isak and Ekitike not playing at the same time when you have a problem scoring goals. When you look at slot ball from last year, and you have to replace all the goals, whether we like it or not, whether you think Salah is a fantastic player or not, he put the ball in the back of the net and got goal contributions. You need somebody to make up that run. Now, me personally, I think Wirtz should be the left wing if you're going to stick with the 4-2-3-1 rather than being the number 10. I don't understand why you broke up that midfield. Yes, I know there were injuries, but Szoboszlai to me should be in the middle with the midfield that won you the Premier League not that 2 years ago. So for me, I think you need to put Wirtz at the left wing and find a new right winger, which is why I think Gakpo should be sold so you can shell out cash for a new winger and then go look for players on the bench. And I think Rio should be getting plenty of minutes next year as far as that. Jimenez was all hype at Feyenoord, linked to so many big club, goes to Milan and sticks it. Brother, there's so many big strikers that haven't worked out in Serie A. It's not funny. Look at the amount of money Juve's paid for Openda and Jonathan David. The two of them combined made 44 appearances in the Serie A. They scored 2 goals in 44
goals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Openda, Jonathan David now is the highest paid player at Juventus. He's getting 235,000 euros a week. He scored 1 goal in 20 games. Listen, I'm telling you, do not expect, I think Yildiz will be available. I don't think Juventus is going to be able to keep him. They don't have the money. They're fucked. They're fucked. I think you'll be able to get Yildiz for cheaper than 100 million because they don't have the finances to be able to see everything out. Dusan Vlahovic was getting paid 450,000 euros a week. He was getting paid more money than Rashford at Juventus and didn't do a fucking thing for 4 years with them. So, I don't know. Do you think Allegri can get the best out of Højlund? Allegri can't get the best out of himself, PFC.
Forget that, man.
They won't get the best out of Napoli. No.
Yeah, it's
we're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Harry Wilson, I think, is the shout for a cheap signing.
Yeah.
For,
I think he's a good player.
I think he's a good shout for rotation. Brother Diamande, that's the guy from Leipzig. I wouldn't trust that club as far as I could throw him, because all the players that come out of that club is suspect. Szoboszlai is really the only one that's come out of that club recently that's been any decent. Look at how long it took Upamecano to get consistent at Bayern Munich from coming out of Leipzig. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's worth the money that you guys were linked to. And I wouldn't sign Barcola either. I think Barcola's overrated as well.
You don't know. Yeah.
No,
He just has no end product. He just doesn't have any end product, and he can't even finish off his dinner. So why would you buy him?
He's not consistent. Yeah.
The chance against Arsenal.
Outside of that, he's not that great of a dribbler either. He looks good. Anybody can look good if you got pace when you're in the wide open field. I can look good. If my fat ass went to the gym and got in shape for 2 years, and you give me a wide open running lane the way we were giving Barcola in the Champions League final, my fat ass could look good.
I bet you run the ball out play for a goal kick just like our Madueke. So there's no point in buying.
I'll put the headband on too.
After on the day,
All you need now is just pace, and you can become a professional footballer.
Exactly.
Can you run fast? Yeah, you're hired. Yeah.
Exactly.
Pace and power.
Yeah, pace and power. Don't need to dribble. Forget about your finish. Just pace them out and let everyone else do
Forget
it.
about your first touch. Forget about controlling the football.
Speed.
Forget about doing tap-ups with freaking Gareth Southgate. Yeah, as long as you got
exactly.
pace and power, you're good today. It's fucking
Right,
nonsense.
you guys over there, have a race. Okay, you won. You're in.
You're on.
Exactly. That's all nonsense. I wouldn't be looking at Barcola or that kid, in my honest opinion. I think there's plenty of wingers that are better than those two that teams should be looking at. Problem is with all the signings, what Liverpool did last season is that their team doesn't gel. It doesn't gel, but again, you have even bigger problems now with guys leaving. And again, the big question the biggest question with Liverpool isn't the fact that they're going to be able to make signings and everything else. The biggest question for me for Liverpool is health, and is Virgil van Dijk going to get any better from what he was last season? Because Van Dijk had a horrible season last year.
He's getting on as well.
Exactly. If he can't retain any of his old form for the majority of next season, then I'm sorry, I'm not really going to be bothered with Iraola going there as a manager. I do think Iraola does make an improvement on Liverpool. I do think that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that now with Konate gone, which Konate had a shit season too. Let's get it right. Konate was not the player he was when they won the league 2 years ago. So if they can put together a competent backline, maybe like I said, me personally, I think Liverpool's the biggest threat to Arsenal. I don't trust Maresca at City.
I don't either.
I really don't. There's too many.
Johnny, I think Man United could be a dark horse. I think.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the problem with United fans is they all got drunk on the fact that they forgot they didn't play European football. Once when they're playing multiple games a week, I think we're going to see a much different Manchester United.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Plus, the other thing is this: United's got to rebuild that back line. They not only got to rebuild the midfield. Now, the two young kids, I think, have hella good potential as far as Heaven and Lenny Yoro. I think those two kids got a lot of potential. But I think the fullbacks are suspect. I'm not a believer in Mazraoui or any of those guys like that. I think their time is long gone. I think they have to look at that. Now, Ederson, I think, is a very good defensive midfielder. If he doesn't take that long of a time to get used to the Premier League pace as opposed to what it was playing in Italy, then I think there's more room for Manchester United to potentially be a dark horse. But my thing is this. If Aston Villa sells Morgan Rogers and they open up a checkbook a little bit, I think Aston Villa is going to be a bigger problem next year.
I agree.
Especially now that they won a title.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I think
and they could win a Super Cup as well. They could win one, a Super Cup.
Correct.
We played well against PSG, in the past.
Listen, when PSG won the title last year for Champions League, we didn't give them the toughest game. Aston Villa did.
Yeah.
Aston Villa could very easily knock them out. Aston Villa went at them way more in the offensive game at Villa Park than what we did in either of the games we played PSG. Let's just have it right. So for me, I don't think that it's a situation of it's just Man United's a dark horse. I think Aston Villa, I don't think they'll win the league, but I think Aston Villa will be in a race for much longer than what it was this year. And
Maybe a domestic cup, maybe a trophy.
Yeah, like a league
I
cup
wouldn't
or
be surprised
something.
if they won one of the domestic cups. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest with you, big up Benji.
Hey, big up, man.
No,
No.
Chronic, I definitely hear you. Listen, the players were not only not coached, it was also Slot tried for whatever reason changing what you guys were good at to play his bullshit sideways football. That was the biggest problem with Liverpool. Slot fucking lost the plot. If we're being honest, Verts isn't a. We're a bit off. Yeah, I don't. I think Manchester United, what the big thing for United's going to be next year is consistency. Is consistency in order to show that they're going to be there. Because remember, United will make Champions League and they fall the fuck out of it the very next year. It's just the motto.
But look who their managers were.
Solskjaer.
They had Ten Hag. They
Mhm.
had
Ten Hag.
who else did they have?
They had Oli.
Yep, they had Ole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's
Do you
Mourinho.
see the trend here, Gianni?
Mourinho.
but you're ignoring who was previous.
Before those two or after those two?
Oh, sorry,
Before
Ruben
those-
Amorim as well. Yeah, Ruben Amorim as well. Forgot.
Well, there you go. Do
You
see
had
the
you had
trend there?
Mourinho
Yeah.
and you had what's his name? Louis van Gaal.
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, here's the problem. While you are correct, it has something to do with the managers, it's also the ownership.
Yeah.
When United wins Champions League, they don't spend money because the Glazers would suck the money out of the club.
Mm.
With Ineos, yes, they're making smarter decisions and everything else. But again, here's the biggest problem. All these United fans came out and said there's a 300 million pound war chest that's going to be spent on Manchester United. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening because Ineos has already dumped in a shit ton of money. I don't see Sir Jim Ratcliffe just signing away all his finances to Manchester United. And the Glazers are the shittiest owners when it comes to the Premier League. I honestly don't see them backing up any more money. So it's going to come down to who is Manchester United going to get rid of on top of whatever the budget is. So that's the thing for me. Verts isn't a left winger, plays inside left and all that. Yeah, I hear you to a certain degree with that, Chronic, but at the same time, that's with Germany. When he played with Leverkusen, when you look at how they played, it was more of a 3-4-1-2. Big up Rob. It was more of a 3-4-1-2 where he came into the middle and you had Victor Boniface and Patrick Schick up top where they were more so two wingers and he got the float around rule. So I hear you. You are correct with that, but I don't know because for me, I wouldn't change the midfield that won you a Premier League with Szoboszlai at the number 10. That's the only reason why I'm saying maybe play him out at the left wing because Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch, along with Van Dijk, were the big reasons why you guys won that Premier League. Outside of the fact of you weren't making Salah come back and defend. Rob, what's going on, my guy? How you feeling after the parade?
Hey, my guy.
Hey guys, how you doing? Is my microphone okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I can
Because
hear you,
it didn't
mate.
seem to
It's
work.
perfect, mate.
I kind of
Welcome
did it
back,
before and
mate.
it didn't seem to work, and I don't know why. Anyway, cool. That's good. Yeah, do you know what? I'm still fairly devastated, to be honest with you. It feels very strange to be devastated having, I was singing Champions, after the Crystal Palace game.
Yep.
And it's just the way it happened. I know you guys, sorry, I've only just come into the show. I know you guys have probably maybe discussed it, but it's just the way it happened, obviously, as well. And, so basically what happened was on Saturday for the final, I had a few of my good friends come down who I hadn't seen for a few years. We all got together. We were queuing outside a pub here in North London from 10 a.m., each of us taking turns nipping to Sainsbury's to get beers. So we got in there, got some great seats, fantastic views, started chatting to people, played a few card games, and it was all really, really good. Having a few arguments, you got to be a bit careful when you're a member of our community and you go to these places because you know, you got to be a bit careful what you say. Not that you shouldn't express yourself and be yourself, but you've got to be a little bit careful how you calibrate what you say about Arteta, because obviously we all know everyone's very sensitive.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I was having a couple of, let's say, debates, but it was cool. There was no, you know, nastiness or whatever. But there was a few people who just seemed to be a little bit surprised by some of the things that I was saying. But then they couldn't argue back when I said, well, 1 trophy in 25. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't really, you know. But yeah, so obviously the way the game panned out, it was just very Arteta, wasn't it? It was just very Arteta. And I guess it was surprised, like, you know, I was pissed off that Gyökeres wasn't starting. And yes, people would probably come back and say, well, Havertz scored. And then I would say, well, yes, we didn't win. So, so Havertz got his goal in the 6th minute, which was a great goal, by the way. But at the same time, we didn't win the game. So, I mean, I don't really know. That can't really be an argument for like being like pro that decision. And yeah, you know, I had one of my best friends, if not my best friend, of 23 years, me and him hugging each other whilst we're watching the penalty shootout. And then obviously, to be honest with you, Gianni, I was making this, and guys, I was making this point to Shane and Rashid earlier. I just feel exhausted, and views as well, as Chat mentioned. I just feel emotionally drained from the whole season. I feel the same.
It's bittersweet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm so drained. Like I haven't really. This is the first time I've, you know, kind of like come on a stream, or the first time I've really kind of like I watched a bit of Shane's show earlier, then I watched a bit of Rashid and Shane, and like I just haven't really been able to kind of get back into the sort of usual pattern of watching all you great guys, everyone who's in our fantastic community, and big up to you all, and big up to all the chat and all the legends. Each and every time, you're well appreciated. But it's just like I've struggled the past couple of days or so because I just felt drained, man. It's just been such a draining end to the season. And why am I feeling that when we just won we won a title? Do you know what I mean? I should be elated, but it's the way that the end of the season has happened, and the way the penalty shootout happened, and just the way I've been obviously kind of emotionally invested into it. It seems more than I realized. And yeah, I just at the end, I wouldn't say I'm not saying I didn't like collapse at the end of the fucking game, but I just kind of fell to my chair at the end of the game with my head in my hands, just kind of like, it's just been such a drain, the whole thing, man. Seriously.
You know what it is, Rob? Yeah.
Go on, sorry. Yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say, do you know what it is? Is that if only Mosquera didn't like foul Kvaratskhelia, we would have went on to win that game. And I was screaming at the TV, score a second goal. 1-0 is not enough. If we would have scored a second somewhere, we would have went on to win. And if Mosquera didn't give away that penalty, I guarantee PSG, they had possession and all that crap, but possession doesn't mean anything if there's no end product, and there was no end product from them. And I can guarantee, if we didn't give away that penalty, we would have won on and won that. We would have won on and won. And the thing with Arsenal, something always has to happen in Europe where like there's a cock up somewhere and we end up winning nothing. It happens all the time.
It reminded me, sorry to cut inside. It just
you carry on.
Me a lot of back in the day, back in 2000 and oh god, I can't remember the year now. The Barcelona Champions League final.
2006.
Obviously, it was 2006, wasn't it? I had like 5 in my head, but yeah, it was 6. So, or was it 5? What was it? Anyway, whatever year it was, it was kind of similar because we thought we were nearly there. I'm sure that Barca equalised around the same time, like maybe nearly 70 minutes.
Yeah, Bradley. Yeah.
It was roughly the same time.
Trying to remember when.
I know we obviously the other day we scored a lot earlier, but obviously there's the bozo moment from Lehmann back then. And then a bit of a bozo moment from Mosquera, but then like he had done well for the game. Like it's hard to really criticize a lot of our defenders so much. I mean, if anything, Eze with his stupid little stutter run for the penalty.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
You know,
we actually haven't discussed the Champions League final, but we can get into it. I personally don't blame Mosquera as much for that situation as I do Arteta, because if you look at the difference of the first half we were lights out. The second half, if you look at what happens, look at as soon as PSG got on the ball when the second half started. Desiree Doué and VAR are playing much more inside. Doué's playing more of a central role, and Vitinha's dropping more, which is where you started to see them finding the cracks in the defense with how we were playing. Now, the problem with the Mosquera situation is because of where you see Doué being more central in that scenario, for some reason, you saw more penetration in the middle with the passes from Vitinha to João Neves and the pass to Fabian Ruiz as well, to where they were able to work the middle a little bit more than where it was at. But when you see that penalty, that they started picking their spots to where we weren't doubling up on the wingers.
Yeah.
Because the first half, Saka did not look like he was going to play a forward-thinking ball at all. Saka was just being told, you're doubling up to protect Mosquera against Vara. Vara
This is why I said
started,
it's typical Arteta. Yeah.
yeah, and you saw that when the passes in the middle started creating more problems to where the wingers weren't able to get back as much to protect the fullbacks, you then started to see the one-on-ones, and by then it was only a matter of time before one of them fucked up.
Yeah.
It just was what it was at that situation.
What was the statistic? There's some mad statistic about how many like forward passes we had or lacked
We
during
only
the
had
game.
196 passes the whole game.
Say again, sorry.
We only had 196 passes the whole game.
Yeah.
Mad.
It's 196 passes. First of all, this is my biggest problem from the Champions League is once again, why is it that we have to try to do it our own way? We don't take anything from what we've seen in the past to try to make it work. One of the biggest things that I said coming into this is when you look at the scenario and you look at PSG's history, yes, they won last year. Yes, they beat Inter 5-0. Yes, they were the most entertaining team to watch. And same thing around this year when they got hot in the second half of the season. But the historical fact is this. Marquinhos is the weak link in that back line. Why did we not attack him at all when we had the ball? If you look at when Real Madrid pulled the remontada against PSG, when PSG has had continual fuck-ups in the Champions League, who's normally at the core of the problem? It's Marquinhos. Why don't you attack him? That's why I didn't think Havertz should have started the game. Or when you look at the tactics of how we played, we basically played old school 4-4-2 that whole game. Odegaard and Havertz were next to each other the entire time. So if that's the case of what you're going to do, why the fuck aren't you starting Gyökeres and Havertz at the same time?
Or Eze.
Or Eze.
To be honest with you, I've never liked Pacho that much. I know people do rate him. I'm not saying he's like terrible, but I just think he's got a little bit of a bozo moment in him as well. But yeah, I get what you mean. But this is kind of what I'm saying, like I just said then about like it being pure Arteta. I mean, it's like he was playing as soon as it went to 1-1, he's playing for penalties. And like, sorry, I don't know what your name is. Sorry, in the middle, my man. Sorry. Hello, man. Nice to meet you, man. Yeah, I think we have been on a stream
Antonio,
before.
yeah.
But yeah, so no, I think that's right. If we'd have actually had a little bit of impetus about us to go off and kill the game, this whole conversation would be different. But because we won't, because it's like, oh my God, we scored. Oh my God, we scored. We've got to hold on. We've got to hold.
Yeah.
No, this is not how the allegedly sort of greatest manager in the world and the greatest team in the world should play, surely. Is this not going to hit home for people? Like, you're constantly telling us how amazing this manager is. You're constantly telling us how amazing this squad is. You've just had to watch that. And yes, of course, it's a great PSG. It's a fantastic PSG team. And I guess their argument would be, well, it nearly worked. But I think your point is salient point. Get that second goal.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah. Look. Here's the thing. We have different reference points throughout recent footballing history as far as a defensive team going that far. Atletico Madrid couldn't do it twice against Real Madrid. They tried doing the same thing of scoring one goal, sitting back, but at least Atletico Madrid had a little bit more about them when they tried going forward against that Real Madrid side. The other one, which I don't even know why people were trying to compare this. I don't know if you guys saw this at all, but people were trying to compare this Arsenal squad defensively to Jose Mourinho's Inter team. You're not even fucking close. You're not even fucking close to Jose Mourinho's Inter side. One, because the defenders on Jose Mourinho's side are 10 times better than what our guys are.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Saliba and Gabriel are not at the same level as what Lucio and Walter Samuel were at their time in Milan, number one. Number two, you don't have a Wesley Schneider, a Diego Milito, or a Samuel Eto'o going forward.
Exactly.
You can play rock solid defense and still be able to go and attack. So I'm not doing this comparison game with that bullshit.
And he won a treble with them, did he?
Yeah, he wanted the only
They won a
Italian,
treble.
Yeah.
the only Italian treble. Now, the other one, which made me even laugh harder when they tried comparing it, was because somebody predicted that Arsenal was going to beat PSG 4-0. I forgot who said this on AFTV.
Oh,
somebody said
the Positive Dan guy said it was going to be like 3-0 or 4-0.
Was it Positive, Dan?
I don't know who. I don't pay attention to that channel because I don't got time for.
I don't either.
But somebody tried saying that this was going to be a scenario of when AC Milan in '94 beat Barcelona 4-0, and then AC Milan team only gave up 15 goals the whole season. I'm sorry. Once again, you were biblically incorrect because the forward players that we have are nowhere near on the same level. And please do not disrespect Baresi, Maldini, Costa Curta, and all of them by comparing Saliba and Gabriel. Not same ballpark.
So Massara and all them like
and that was the season that Desai came. So let's not fucking do this. The problem is at the end of the day is very simple. First of all, everybody said set piece ole. I think we had 3 corners the whole game.
Yeah.
So where was this fucking trap that we were going to do that PSG's weak at corner kicks, but we don't even try to play any type of more forward thinking football?
Johnny, you know what pissed me off? Go on, Johnny. Go on.
I was just going to say, I would have been fine if it was 65-35 or 60-40 on the possession. Not no fucking 75-25.
Yeah.
No.
I'd have been fine if it was 35 to 40% possession because you would have had a little bit more about you. And again, Rob, you said it at best. Pacho looked uncomfortable the first 25 minutes.
Yes.
And in our group chat that we had, I said the Russian goalkeeper looked like he was shitting a brick when he was up for the walkout. He looked nervous as fuck. When you see a situation like that, yes, Havertz scored an early goal. But when you're in possession, take a shot from outside the box. If he's a nervous goalkeeper, you don't know what happens. The guy may off the ball up in the box, and you can get a rebound shot and go up 2-0. And like you said, Antonio, if we score 2 goals, they don't tie us.
Yeah, no, exactly. If we score a second goal, that's it. Yeah, but, and Johnny, the same in 2006 against Barcelona. If we scored a second, done.
Yeah, because like I said, Gianni, Kai Havertz, the only good thing he did was he scored the goal for us. But apart from that, he had a chance to make it 2-0 when Odegaard set him up, and then
that block. Yeah,
he should have been quick enough to shoot, but he took too many touches, and then he took the shot. And I think that was when it was Marquinhos who blocked.
Yeah, it was.
It was Marquinhos.
Yeah.
That was all Kai
after
Havertz
the
did.
fact that Marquinhos got burned. That was the funny thing. Marquinhos got the block in after he just got burned, and that was my point. The one time you attacked Marquinhos, you had to force him to make a class block to stop the second shot from possibly going in. Why don't you do more of that if you're already seeing that it works? That's the issue. It's like,
and
again,
another thing as well, Gianni.
And then all of a sudden, it was just complete defense at the end. It's like, dude, it's not going to work against that PSG team. It's not.
Another thing as well, Gianni. I hear a lot of fan base saying, our fan base complaining that the fact that Madueke we should have got a penalty from Madueke.
That wasn't a penalty, was it?
Fucking penalty.
Yeah,
it
because
wasn't.
Like I understand Nuno
I
Mendes.
thought it was at first, but it
He
wasn't.
holds on to Nuno Mendes' arm as well. That
Mendes
doesn't
grabbed
make sense.
Madueke in the shoulder,
his
but
arm went up
Madueke
and
was the
locked
one
in.
that started by he got Mendes first before Mendes pushed him. So I don't understand why so many of our fan base are getting so giddy with the fact that
Mason, you know what was even funnier?
Yeah.
If you remember in extra time, I think we took a shot and it hit somebody's leg, and this dumb motherfucker went running back and started going like this, calling for handball. It's like, bro, it hit the guy in the knee. What the fuck you doing trying to call for a handball?
Yeah.
And this goes to the fact, Gianni, that Arteta this goes to the fact that
Go ahead,
Arteta
Missy, go ahead.
continues to play defensive football.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
why he keeps doing that. Why can't you just go attack? Because Enrique was doing that to us. He was just allowing PSG to attack us because we are so busy defending that 1-goal lead. We should have killed off PSG because this defensive football for me is just becoming a bit of a joke now. We need to start going attack.
What pissed me off, Macy,
I don't have a problem with defensive. Here, if you're gonna base your team off pragmatism, I don't have a problem with that. Where I do have a problem with it is that's the only thing you base your team off of. That's where the issue is. Because again, we can sit here and ramble off defensive teams all we want. They knew how to go forward. At times when it mattered, they knew how to go forward. Again, Diego Simeone, the first time he won the league with Atletico Madrid, did he win it playing rigid, shithouse Diego Simeone haram ball? Yeah, he did. But he also had the likes of Diego Ribas. He had David Villa. He had Arda Turan. He had ballers that could go forward on that team to help create when you needed to be bailed out and play offensive football when needed. Again, Inter shithouse their way to a treble. Again, they had Diego Milito, who was arguably the best striker in Italy as far as consistency when you look at what to Inter. Samuel Eto'o was on fucking fire at Barcelona before he came to Inter and was on fire for them. And then, miraculously, Real Madrid said Wesley Sneijder's not good for us, and Sneijder should have won the fucking Ballon d'Or in that season in
2010.
Because he was ridiculous. So again, people try to compare us to these big teams. They still had the players going forward. You know, again, the Johan Cruyff said, Barcelona's going to smack the fuck out of Milan because Milan only knows how to defend. But yet Milan came and smacked Barcelona 4-0 in the final because they knew what to do going forward. That's the difference. You can play, you can set up defensively, but at the same time, you need to be able to attack with purpose if you're going to be defensive. You need to know when to attack.
Do you know what pissed me off, Johnny, about the Fonia, right? Is that we were giving the ball away constantly. We couldn't string any passes together. When we scored, PSG were rattled and we didn't capitalize on that, yeah?
Right.
We let them back in the game. And what really pissed me off, this flipping time wasting. And you know what, you're right? There are many Arsenal fans who are having to go to the referee for not allowing Saka to take the corner at the last minute of the first half. The referee said, hurry up, take the corner, otherwise I'm going to blow the whistle. Saka should have ran to the corner flag, taken the corner, and maybe, just maybe, we could have scored a second goal from the corner. But you said, Johnny, we had 3 corners like the whole game, which I believe like maybe Enrique tactically did that and thought, let's try and nullify their set pieces, yeah? But we had that corner at the end of the first half. Saka, instead of running to the corner flag, take the corner and perhaps get a second goal where we could have went in 2-0 at half time, maybe, we don't know. But what he does, he walks, he walks. The referee blows the whistle, and Saka's like, hey, what's going on? And the referee's like, I told you. Think.
No, but the referee wasn't having none of this kind of nonsense, and it was kind of like a
no, that's good, Rob. That's good.
Yeah, no,
because
I agree.
He warned him. Hey, hurry up! I'm going to whistle. You don't hurry up. Oh, no, I'll just walk. Come on, man.
By the way, Gianni, I think Musical MMA likes you.
I think he's hilarious with that one. That's a good one. Yank possession 76, rest of the panel 24. I like that.
Yes.
What do you guys think of this question with PFC where he asked, do you think Arsenal can win the Champions League in the next 3 years?
Not with Arteta.
That's kind of my
I was told in the pub that in the next 5 years, we're definitely going to with Arteta. That implies that Arteta's going to be here for another 5 years as well, which itself is something I don't necessarily want to think about too much.
Yeah.
I want to get in on that real quick. I just want to address this. The thoughts on the Diamandi situation. Listen, Liverpool, if you're going to spend $100 million on another player from RB Leipzig, good luck. The only player that's come out of RB Leipzig that's been any good recently is Szoboszlai and Leimer at Bayern Munich. Besides that, their players are super suspect. So I'm not convinced. I think there's better wingers out there than Diomande for Liverpool, in my personal opinion.
Oh,
Now-
Johnny, let them waste some money, please.
Well, yeah, listen, yeah, if you want to shell out another money, it's going to handicap you and prevent you from
Go ahead.
Yeah. As far as what you said, Rob, here's my thing, right? I'm not going to kill because of how difficult it is to go back to back in the Premier League. There's only been 3 teams to do it. I'm not going to kill Arteta if you don't go back to back next year, because I think there's been rumors that City's going to drop a shit ton of money for Maresca, and Liverpool may spend another 100 to 200 million as well. So I'm not going to kill Arteta if you don't go back to back, but you better be in the title fight. And if you can't win the title, I want to see you either put up another fight for the Champions League or at least do what City did and get a domestic cup double and continue the trophy haul. Because the uncomfortable thing is this: we only walked away with 1 trophy. If Maresca walks in next year and wins a domestic cup and the league, and we don't win anything, City has still passed us on trophies.
Yep.
So for me, that's why this is a double-edged sword. Now, if that was to happen and he got a domestic cup double and finished second and got a quarterfinal, semifinal in the Champions League, I'll tolerate 1 more year, but you have to run the league back then afterwards. And if you don't win the league in 2 years after winning it, then for me, I'm sorry, unless you pull the Champions League, you got to go. That's I don't think Arteta should be staying for 5 years. And
No.
the fact that we're talking about giving this guy 20+ million a year is a fucking joke, in my opinion.
And are these people going to kind of now raise the standard because we've won the league, or like, does a trophy matter now? Like how does this work? Because we've all been chastised because we've demanded trophies. Now we have won a trophy. They're saying to us, look, Arteta's great. Now he's won a trophy, which means they do actually rate trophies. So are they then going to keep that standard to win more trophies, or are they going to give him listen, I can give him grace for I agree with you, in the sense that if you're not going to win the title next season, it is difficult to win it back to back. Get me at least a League Cup or an FA Cup, something like that. And then in your second year, go on and win the title, go on and win the Champions League. If not, go. That's kind of how I see it. I think, you do get a period of great, you'll do an opportunity. You should get an opportunity to defend it. I think if you win the title, unless there's something monumentally crazy going on, well, I mean, you could maybe argue there is, but do you know what I mean? You should be able to, I think generally speaking, you should be able to defend the title. But if you can't do it, and then you don't win me anything in the next 2 years, you've got to go. Max, not 5 years. What the fuck is this about?
Yeah,
The thing is, Robbie, we can't risk going another 22 years. I mean, who would have thought that Invincible team would, after that 2004 league title win, who would have thought that we would have went 22 years without a league? Even Liverpool, 30 plus years without a league? Who would have thought that? We can't afford to go back there. And as you said, Rob and Johnny and the rest of the panel, we need to be consistent now. We need to be winning trophy. We should be a football club, right? We should be winning a trophy every single season, with the odd season where, you may go a season where you go trophyless, because it happens. It's happened to Alex Ferguson. It's happened to Wenger, and it's happened to top managers where they've had a season where they've had trophyless seasons. It happens. But in the next season, they win a trophy. And they don't repeat the previous season where they went trophyless. We should be doing that.
No, that's a great point, Anne. What it was when I've made this point a couple of times, I think on Gianni's and with others as well on podcasts, that if you'd have come up to us in 2004 in the 12 Pins pub outside Finsbury Park Station, after we were celebrating the final day of the Invincibles and winning the league that time, if you'd have come up to us then and said, you ain't going to win the title for another 22 years, you'd have got weighed in. You'd be leaving that place in the body bag. We thought we were on the verge of world domination. And then we were moving to this stadium and we were getting given all these promises. It was just, everything was just, to be fair, I will actually say at that point that I was a little bit dubious about the stadium move. So I was not so amazingly enamored by it. But you could see why we would all be kind of super confident about the future. And then the future was 22 years of what did I work it out as the other day? A 4% trophy winning record since we moved to the Emirates, basically.
Yeah, not good enough.
4%. That's fucking god.
Because it's what is the actual thing? It's 4%. I can't remember the exact kind of like about 80 trophies we could have won. So yeah,
Wow.
I can
Holy shit,
confirm that.
that's fucking insane.
It is.
So I did a little grok thing about that the other day, and it was like 4%, and I can't remember the exact what in what thing. But yeah, if you think about it, I mean, yeah, it's going to be around that, isn't it? Because we won 4 FA Cups. Okay, this was before we won the title, to be fair. But still, it's not that doesn't really massively change it in terms of a percentage. But yeah, it's about 4 or 5% in terms of all the trophies we could have won. I think that's minus Community Shield, by the way.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, we're not including that.
Care about Community Shields. Do we?
Well, that's a good point, Rob, because we had at least a few league titles that we could have won. We had 4 League Cup finals that we lost all of them.
We've won 4 trophies in 80, so that would be about 4%, right? Because it would be about 5%, something like that. Yeah, it's about 5%, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean. We had a few league titles that we could have won, especially that one against Leicester when it won that league title that year. We came second. We had 4 League Cup finals that we lost: Chelsea, Birmingham, and 2 to Man City. Who else? We had the Champions League that we lost in 2006.
Yeah, we've been involved with basically whether we've been involved in the
Europa League final 2019.
Whatever it is.
Europa League. I mean,
and then the Champions League final here as well.
We've only won 5 trophies in the Emirates era.
Yeah.
4 FA. And what we moved into the Emirates 05-06.
Yep, 4 FA Cups.
No,
it was it was 06-07 because 05-06.
Yeah, 06-07.
Yeah, 06-07. Okay,
the Champions League. Yeah.
So at the end, so the 2006-2007 is the first season. So going into next season will be 20 years. So 80 trophies available. You only won 5.
Exactly.
That's just domestic. You have 81 when you throw in the Europa League final. You have 82 when you throw in this Champions League final. You've only won 5 trophies in 82 attempts overall as a club.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
It is. It's disgusting.
It is.
Well, especially what we were promised. Obviously, I get that you can't guarantee. This is the sort of comeback I get from people when I have this sort of debate with them. They're like, "Oh, well, you can't guarantee winning things," but it's like. Yeah, but that's not quite the movements of the club, the things that the club says, the amount of money that the club spends. The fact that we're all told that Arteta's the most amazing manager in the world. Arteta's been responsible for nearly 7 years of that 22 years without a title. Mm-hmm. So it's like people don't, and it's really crazy when I was in the bar, like they just like. The look on people's faces when I was at the bar for the Champions League final, we were just chatting about these kind of things like an idiot. I should have just bit my tongue. But like, it's amazing the look on people's faces. They're kind of like, how can you say this about him? But how can you say this? Like, they're really incredulous about it. It's like, but it's not that. It's not like I'm like having a go at a guy who's won a title after title and cup after cup. Do you know what I mean? If he doesn't win another trophy for 2 years, he'll have won a title and an FA Cup, and it'll be about roughly 10 years or whatever it is, 8 years. That's not good enough for us. No. And if it is good enough for you, then I would suggest that your standards are just. I would suggest that you don't properly understand what Arsenal are supposed to be about, basically.
No,
whereas Rob, it's a love for individuals rather than a football club. So that's where it is, Rob.
It's a family. You got a dating show.
Yeah, it's a family.
Yeah, real quick, guys. I know you got to bounce. Appreciate your time, my guy.
You're welcome.
What's real quick? What's your prediction for who do you think is going to be the top? Who do you think is going to be the 2 teams in the final for the World Cup? And then what's your prediction for the NBA final?
All right, 2 teams in the World Cup: Spain and France. And like I said, I'm rocking with it. Knicks in 6. We're going to close it out at Madison Square Garden, and you and I are going to go to New York City to celebrate. And I don't care what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $5,000. If I have to give you $5,000, I'm doing it.
You guys go to the World Cup, you're going to get your tickets and visit America for the World Cup by any chance?
Fuck no. I will not support that Gianni Infantino absolute asshole.
Is
No.
the stadium's too
No.
small? Is that the reason why it was at the
No,
stadium's?
the stadium. So for those of you that don't know, the World Cup final, and I despise why it's going to be played there. The World Cup final is going to be at MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now the problem with that
really?
stadium is that first of all, it's an absolute dump.
Yeah.
Second of all, trust me,
It's not. No, it's actually a nice stadium. It's just in the middle of a
Let me
heroin.
have a look, Chico.
Yes,
Right.
It's in
true.
the middle of a fucking heroin den. That's
It
the
is.
Let's see.
heroin. So the running joke in Jersey, we call it meth life because it's nothing but heroin addicts and meth heads that are around that fucking stadium. It's in a
Right.
legit shithole area.
Yes.
So,
The other problem with that is that the turf that they play on, it's notoriously known for giving a lot of injuries, whether it's an ACL injury, God forbid, an Achilles injury, or just anything of that nature. So that's the other issue that I have with that stadium. And also,
What do you guys
it's an
think of the
outdoor-
Club World Cup last year? Look at the Club
I
World
didn't
Cup
watch it.
last year. A lot of empty seats in America.
I didn't watch
Well,
it. It was
the
a
club-
joke.
Crazy.
Here's the difference with the Club World Cup. You
What's the
don't.
difference?
If we're being honest, outside of Inter, Chelsea, the capacity is
Yep.
massive.
Yeah, that's the largest
82,000.
stadium in the NFL.
Yeah. The problem with the Club World Cup was there wasn't enough big names to really get the fans out there. Let's be honest. All
Yes.
of the outside of Chelsea, Inter, PSG, and City,
Real
outside
Madrid
of
also, don't forget.
and Madrid, outside of those 5 teams, none of them other teams are going to draw fans in the United States to watch. Now, the problem that I have with the World Cup is the resale stuff that's going on in the United States. I mean, the fact that it's going to cost you $1,500 to see like an Ecuador versus fucking Kazakhstan is ridiculous.
It's retarded.
Yeah, so I don't really care for this World Cup, and it's sad because I always enjoy watching the World Cup, but I'm really not caring about this situation, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. So I'm with you on it, and plus the United States is going to get fucking smoked.
Yeah,
There's so many empty
Johnny,
seats.
Johnny,
Just
look, can
watch.
you imagine if,
we're gonna
can you
lose
imagine if
4-0
Italy
to
qualified
Turkey.
here, right? Got to a
We're gonna
final, it would have been a
somehow-
home game in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Who,
it's
Italy?
nonsense.
Yeah,
It's nonsense.
if Italy qualified, they would have had all their games in the New York area because it would have been their big home game. They wouldn't have fucking moved them around.
Do you guys think you'd beat Paraguay on the opening game of the World Cup?
No,
I think they draw. I think they
You're
draw
being generous.
Paraguay,
We
but
lose.
Turkey's going to kick the shit out of them.
Yep. And when
What do you guys think of
Turkey kicks the shit
Pochettino
out
as a
of us,
manager? Is he not good
Australia will
enough for
beat us,
America?
and
or
then
is
that'll
he
be
just,
it for the U.S. Like Quadra, we suck. We
Pochettino
suck.
sucks. Pochettino sucks.
He's
He's not a good manager.
garbage. He's awful. Like, I'll be honest with you, Italy has a better chance of winning the World Cup more in 3 years than the U.S. does. The U.S. will never win the World Cup. They will never win the World Cup.
Well, let's have you right, Chica, because we need a World Cup.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I will tell you this.
Tell me.
Really quickly on Italy, I do like that this new manager brought all the young kids up for the friendly games. There's none of the experienced players are getting a call up outside of Donnarumma. It's all the young kids that are getting called up to play. So I am enjoying that, but don't think that that's gonna be the way, because they're trying to promote Conte to be the national team manager again, and I'm not trying to see that bullshit. As far as your question with Pochettino, Quadra, Pochettino's dog shit. He's gonna get exposed in this World Cup. He's gonna get. I am willing to bet you right now, Turkey beats the United States 4-1 or 5-1 in the group stage game. Willing to bet you that's going to happen. And whoever they get, if they get any big team in the first round of the knockouts, they're going to get the shit slapped out of them again.
Yep.
So the U.S. isn't going to do anything.
Nope.
For all that, I just don't see it. Rob, since you were late getting onto the show,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Chike.
Chica, peace out.
I want to ask you the same question that I asked Antonio and Quaja and Macy. Where do you think, what to you are the 4 biggest positions that need to be fixed coming into this next season for Arsenal? If you had with what are the four main areas? Obviously, we all agree the left wing is probably the biggest spot.
I was literally going to say three of those, like just left, center forward, and right wing. That's three already. And then, yeah, just sorting out the midfield. Like, so I'm not convinced. Well, also, now I think about it, I'm thinking, I'm hesitating because I'm wondering how fit Timber is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I'm wondering how Timber's going to come back. I don't want to have to fix the right wing position because I think Timber's an amazing player if he's actually properly fit and able to play properly well. But I wonder if that would now need to be fixed, unfortunately. Not because of his skill level, just because of his injury situation and, you know, what this manager does to him. So, yeah, I was saying on, what were we... Was it Rashid? Yeah, when Rashid and Shane were doing the show earlier, I was actually saying about how I was just sort of in the chat, and Kwajo would have seen about how, you know, we got Havertz and Gyökeres. That's what, about 110 million in terms of transfer fee together, and about 500,000 a week, and we don't like either of them. Like, it's just like, what a kind of ridiculous situation, and the amount that were lauded up. He's kind of crazy to me, like when it's been mismanaged in this sense. They're not absolute. I don't think they're necessarily absolutely terrible as such, but they're just not good enough, you know, and that's kind of next door, I suppose. So yeah, definitely. The thing is, I was a bit proved wrong by Gyökeres in a way, because I was quite optimistic about Gyökeres. I just thought that somebody who has a propensity to score that many goals is just a natural finisher. But then, of course, you always bloody underestimate the Arteta tax, don't you? You always underestimate the style of play tax that we have. And even if we get an Alvarez, even if we get, well, you can insert whichever player. Look at what's happened with Eze. We still don't. There's a big question mark over Eze as a functional player, because we just don't know. We thought he was great. We thought he was a great player. We thought he was a great sign. I think most of us were very happy to see him sign, but he's not quite turned out to be that guy yet. And yeah, so he's very tricky, like, to even kind of like say, if we were going to change four positions, would it really matter that much? Because we still got the same fucking guy in charge of it. That's kind of the problem. So yes, we could get, we 100% definitely need to get a better left winger. I would even maybe I would actually maybe more concentrate on getting a right winger, move Saka out to the left, which is something I've championed for a while. I know people disagree and they go with him in the 10. I get that argument. I do get that argument. But I would actually rather see Saka on the left. And then, yeah, we need to get a new... Oh, God, it sounds so stupid to say we need to get a new centre forward, but we need to get a centre forward that works, because Havertz doesn't quite work. Gyökeres has been okay. But then I'm hesitating whilst I say this, because it all comes back to the fucking manager and what he does with him. That's the problem, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So,
Rob, you know, you're right.
Attacking wise, I would say. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go on.
I was just going to say, yeah, attacking wise, I would say that those are our main areas, like attacking midfield, and the forward line is where I would say we need to have a look at. Yeah.
You know, Robert, you said about putting Saka out to the left wing. Yeah, I actually agree with that. Like, try something different. Also, in regards to the right wing, I reckon we may not need to spend money there. Sell Madueke, right? Get some money from him. And then you got Dalman and Ethan to fight it out.
That is a good point, actually. Yeah.
So
I don't want none of them getting sold. I don't want Ethan or Lewis Skelly. Listen, I think Lewis Skelly, if anything, if we don't really improve the midfield at all, Lewis Skelly should be starting over Zubamendi next year. I'm sorry. I think Skelly should be given the benefit of the doubt the way he played the last 5 games. Because if somebody would have to make a compelling argument to me to say that if Zubamendi started the last 5 games over Skelly, that we would have won the league. I don't think it would happen.
By the way, can you hear my fan? I've just turned my fan on. Can you hear it?
No, you're good, Rob.
Is this okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. But I think Skelly deserves a lot of game time next year. I think for me, the problem that I have with the entire situation with Skelly is I don't think Skelly is going to be given enough of an opportunity. I hope he's not being sold. Ethan, I don't want to be sold either, because they're talking about Ethan may go to Como, and I think will turn him into a monster, if I'm being quite honest with you, with the way that we've seen some of the other talents that he's been able to put out. But I think left wing midfielder, I think Hincapié needs to be a permanent purchase. If we don't make him a permanent purchase and he ends up at Barcelona, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah, I agree, Gianni, my man. We need, because it would be a shame if he goes to Barcelona and we're still stuck with Calafiori.
If we get stuck with Calafiori, I mean, you need another left back.
Yeah.
You need another left back. Now, for me, I'm going to throw this out there, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy or not. I honestly would be tempted. What would you guys think about DeMarco?
Not a bad idea. I mean,
I would. But the only thing with him, John, is that he's more of a wing back.
I understand that, but I'm saying when you look at the concept of how Calafiori plays, where he just has that free roam to bomb up the field.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
I'd rather have DeMarco in that position. I mean, the guy was a left wing back and just scored 6 goals and got 18 assists as a defenseman. I'd rather see that than Calafiori and then go get another, because for me, if Hincapié goes to Barcelona, you have to get a left back that's defense first in order to have rotation and have a different look of a player than just Calafiori. Because otherwise, if you get 2 guys like Calafiori and somebody that plays like Calafiori or similar to him, the team the opponent just has to set up for Calafiori and it works for both, instead of giving him a different look like how Hincapié does. And
what about Tyreek Mitchell at Crystal Palace? Would you guys take him, Tyreek Mitchell at Crystal Palace?
I like Tyreek Mitchell over that Lewis Hall, if I'm being honest with you. I think Lewis Hall is a little, again, he's looked okay for a solid year. I want to see another year out of him before I can be sold. Tyreek Mitchell's been doing his thing at Palace for a little while now, and you can't disagree with what the result of what Palace has gotten over the last couple of years. So I would be fine with Mitchell. And personally, if you lose Hincapié and you get Mitchell's the starting left back next year. In my opinion.
So how many left backs would you buy? Would you buy
is actually not. Sorry, I was just going to say Hincapié is actually a little bit of an underrated crosser as well, because he just doesn't do it that often.
Yeah, he can cross the ball.
And if he actually would do it a bit more, I mean, we still haven't had a proper left back in terms of, I don't know, me maybe being old. 42 yesterday, by the way. This is my birthday week.
Happy birthday, my guy.
Cheers, man. Cheers. If only we could have, done it on the weekend. But so I mean, like, I'm still a little bit old school in that respect. Actually, that's just reminded you, I was going to say something. Just as a little caveat to that, we were just talking about Saka in the front line. Just before I forget, when Saka make this, people make this Saka world class argument. Yeah,
right.
Think about Robert Pires. So that's kind of my response to anyone now who talks about Saka being world class. That's not me trying to have a go at him or whatever, but you think about there's the 2 left-sided players who are, obviously Saka plays right wing, but he's left-footed, isn't he? I'm not going crazy. He's left-footed, Saka.
Yeah.
I know he's kind of a bit two-footed, but he's not that really. I just think if anyone wants to try and argue that Saka is world class, we'll just say, well, is he as effective in any sense as much as Pires? No. Okay, there we go. But just getting back to what you were saying. Yeah. So Tierney was, I loved Tierney. You just had that traditional way of doing things, and we just haven't been able to get back to that. I think Hincapié can. So, like, sort of was getting back to. Hincapié can do that. He just hasn't shown it enough. And you're right. It would be horrendous if he did go. Because it just seems to be, what are we doing with left backs? I mean, God, what are we doing with right backs, to be honest? It's just like our wing back situation is not great. Obviously, we do have Timber, but like I alluded to before, he could be fucking done, man. He could be done injury wise. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're only, I guess we'll find out from the start of next season. But what is it with this manager and just completely ruining our right and left backs? You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
working his way through them. It's just madness.
Mm.
For me, that's the biggest question of next year. Is Arteta going to learn his lesson that you have to have rotation?
Exactly.
Because the fact that you made it all the way to the Champions League final, you did what you did, you won the Premier League title, you went far in the FA Cup, and you made it to the final of the League Cup. You have a shortened off season now to get everybody rested and back ready to run it back next year. Rotation is going to be the biggest thing next year. And if he's going to try to do the same thing of running guys into the ground, I think we're going to be in for a very rough season next year, which is why I said for me, like I said, I'm not going to be pissed if you don't win the league because you did get over the hump and you won the league. And I'll give you credit where credit's due with that. But I am not going to tolerate fighting for fourth. Like here, remember when Liverpool won the league the next year, they made Champions League on the last day. I'm not trying to see that shit next year.
Yeah.
The other thing I also want to raise the point to, and I'm not trying to compare us to Spurs because they're a shit fucking club. But remember when Spurs lost the Champions League final to Liverpool? That weighed so heavy on that team's mind with Pochettino, they couldn't get over it and they were dog shit. That was the whole reason why they went out and grabbed Mourinho to try to be that mentality monster, to why that was a whole situation to where now they had to go to Mourinho because the team was fried. That's the other thing that I also want to see is how big mentally is that Champions League final going to weigh on the team. It didn't look like it weighed on them because they looked great at the parade, but at the same time, anybody should be looking happy if you get 1.5 million supporters to come out to support you. If you can't look happy with that many supporters, then you're a fucking moron. But at the same time, when it's time to touch grass again and get back out onto the pitch, that's where I want to see how much this Champions League final loss is going to affect them.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I think that's a big question that we're going to have to watch out for this next year. But yeah, I just don't.
Did you think? Sorry, like because I was just curious. I was watching sort of Rashid's show earlier, and they were obviously doing the player ratings and talking about the penalty shootout, obviously the final and the penalty shootout. Not that I'm having a go at Gabriel, because I think generally speaking, he was pretty good in the game. I just feel like I don't know how these things exactly work, but should it not have been better management to not have your number 6 centre back taking that penalty? Like, I just feel it's. I get, you know, he's volunteered to do it, and respect to him. I mean, Jesus Christ, do you want to take a penalty in Champions League? It's going to be not easy. So respect to him for having the cojones to do that, but I just feel like you shouldn't be having. You should be in a more attacking player who. Do you know what? We've watched so many penalty shootouts as well, where we have had such perfect penalties again and again. And yeah, I get the fact that Champions League final pressure and all that.
Well,
but I just feel like. Sorry, I was just going to say. I just feel like having him taking that penalty, as much as I do love him, he's one of my favorite players. I just don't. I think it could have been managed better. That's all.
Yeah, he should have been the second. It shouldn't have been Eze. He should have been the second taker. You don't listen. Your 2 best penalty takers is your first and your last guy.
Basically, yeah.
That's normally how it works.
Well, guys, the thing is, what Arteta did, he took off Odegaard, a penalty taker. He took off Havertz, a penalty taker. He took off Saka, one of our main penalty takers. Now, why didn't Madueke take one? Why didn't Zubimendi take one?
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I'm not going to kill Zubimendi or Madueke because I think they were both too nervous for the occasion. But again, that also falls on us for scouting these guys thinking they're ready for the big occasion to play for a big club.
But like you have said, Gianni, sorry to cut in, but like you have said so brilliantly, and on a few weeks ago when we were doing the show, that Madueke, for example, is going to cost in the end, after his contract and everything, £97 million. So why can't he step up?
I'm not saying that he can't step up. I think that he just wasn't ready for the occasion in this situation. That's my personal opinion.
That is him not being able to step up, though. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, no. I agree. Listen, Zubamendi should have been the one taking the shot over Gabriel, if we're being honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. When we look at majority of listen, I can't remember outside of Tony Rudiger knocking out Manchester City in the shootout with Man City and Real Madrid that happened, I think, 2 or 3 years ago in the Champions League, and outside of the unbelievable penalty that Harry Maguire took against Italy in the Euro finals, I don't remember when a center back put in a really good shot for in a penalty shootout, in my personal opinion. I don't remember one. So the question needs to be asked, why aren't your best players being put forward in order to take the penalties in the first place? For me, Zubamendi should have been the second guy up, and Eze should have been number 3. I thought the fact that you just went Gyökeres and Eze first was a gamble, in my personal opinion. Eze, for me, should have been first, and you saved Gyökeres for the 5th one. And then then it's just a gamble on the sudden death from there.
I did think about this before, and I was kind of like, I kind of see both sides of it, because you want to get off to a good start, and Gyökeres is kind of me. So I think often what happens is they do put in like the sort of main penalty taker. Well, like you said, you have your first and your second best penalty takers at the end of like at either end of the penalty shootout sort of thing. And we didn't do that. And it feels like nitpicking, and I'm not trying to go at the players who stepped up, because it takes courage, and I'm not trying to knock that at all. But I just feel, again, there's these little things that could have been better managed if we just had somebody with if we had a coaching staff and we had a manager with better experience. But there we go.
You know what as well, Rob, is that when Gabriel took his penalty, you know what? I had a feeling that he was going to miss, because the commentator was hyping him up so much, and perhaps rightfully so, because he's been one of our best defenders this year, or maybe our best defender this year, and saying, "Oh, he's been a lion for us. He's been a warrior. He's been this. He's been that." And for some reason, I don't know, I had this strange kind of feeling that all this hyping up for Gabriel, I bet I wouldn't be surprised if he missed, and he did. And I was shouting at the screen. I said, "Gabriel, down the middle. Down the middle. If you're not sure, blast it down the middle." But unfortunately, he didn't do that.
Yeah, not only just down the middle. You know what I miss as far as just being old school? Just put the ball on the same fucking side you shoot from. You already have a leg up on the goalkeeper. If you're right-footed, shoot bottom corner right side. You already have a leg up, because it's hard for him to dive that way. It's already the easiest way to do it. And like you said as well, just go down the middle. Just fucking smoke the damn thing down the middle if you're going to take a chance on it from that perspective.
You could see the goalkeeper was aware, like, because the goalkeeper was diving for it anyway. I mean, like, you could maybe argue because of the power of it, but he knew where he was going.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the one thing I will say about Eze, and this is just what I have a problem with penalties. I'm so sick of these run-ups. Just run up and smash the fucking thing.
Simone Zaza, remember?
Oh my God, he was the what did they call him in Italy? They called him the fucking the jogger. I forgot exactly the term. Yeah. Oh my God. That to me is the worst penalty I've ever seen in my life.
The guy who does this is Ivan Toney. And I like the way he kind of does it, because he just stares, doesn't he? In that way he stares. So he's kind of like the exception to the rule, in the sense of, like, most of the time it's a very dodgy way of doing it. Yes, you might score, cool, the goalkeeper might go the wrong way, but you're sort of like reducing your chance of scoring in a way. Like, why would you reduce the momentum? Because you need that momentum going in to take the penalty, and because you're stuttering, you're kind of like reducing the momentum. And it was just, I've always hated them personally. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, but he had the courage to take a penalty, so I suppose you got to big him up for that. But yeah,
100%.
Could he not have just hit it fucking properly? Do you know what I mean?
PSG's goalkeeper called his bluff up, because when when Eze froze, right, the PSG goalkeeper didn't move. And then maybe that put Eze off a bit. Thought, oh shit, he didn't move. And then all of a sudden he hit it and it went wide.
And that's the thing. Declan Rice, for me, that's exactly how you take a penalty. Run up and just put the fucking thing in the damn goal. Just shoot the damn thing. Stop with this whole I'm going to try to make you jump and all the best goalkeepers have all stopped penalties when guys have done that. And the best players have all missed penalties when they've tried that. Remember Ronaldo in 2006, that stupid fucking run up that he had in the Champions League and he missed his fucking penalty. It doesn't, that stupid shit does not work like that. Either you're good at placing the ball or you just blast the damn thing and take a shot at it. It is what it is.
You're right. There's kind of like two types of the penalty. There's the kind of Julian Dix type penalty, which was just you'd absolutely just destroy the net. Or there's that kind of penalty which Thierry Henry actually used to do more often than not, where he just had the way of striking the ball. It would always go into the sort of left-hand corner. Usually he'd strike it, obviously, with his right into the left-hand corner. But it was just uncatchable for the goalkeeper. And Gyökeres is kind of like that as well. You know where he's going to go every time, but he just puts so much fucking power into it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You can't, deal with it.
Yeah, and that's that for me. Like again with the penalties, I wasn't mad at the selection of guys at the penalties. I was mad at the selection of where you put them at. You know, what's funny? I forgot who put it. I forgot who I was listening to that said it. That game, when you look at it overall with the final, it really reminded me of the Italy-England Euro final because England scored early and Italy in the first 15 minutes were shell-shocked that England got that goal. But Southgate was so fucking negative. He said, nope, set up shop. We got the early goal that we wanted. We're not going forward whatsoever. We're not going to go forward whatsoever.
Yeah.
And England allowed Italy to grow into that game. And by the time it was the 35th, 37th minute, there wasn't a damn thing England could do. Italy ran it. And in the second half, Mancini was just like, fuck it. Take two more steps forward, keep attacking them, and you knew by the 50th minute, by hook or crook, Italy was going to score a goal. It was the same thing in this. And like you said, Rob, you said it the best. Pacho, I rate the guy a lot, but he looked like he was a deer in the fucking headlights those first 15, 20 minutes.
I've seen it before. Like I saw it last season when we had the game against them last season. It was kind of like, so before the first leg we had with them last season, I was watching them. I can't remember. It's gone out my head who they played in the round before now. But I remember watching him and thinking, because I'm more of a defensive player. I was a CDM originally, and so I kind of look at things in a bit more of a defensive way. I just remember thinking, this guy's like you say, he can be a deer in the he can be completely sort of Bambi, not Bambi, but they can be like a deer in the headlights. Kind of gets a bit kind of shocked and stunned sometimes, and he's a bit kind of hesitant and all that. And I just saw that kind of weakness in him. But I was going to say we didn't take advantage of it, but we didn't try to really attack at all. But that again goes back to what I was saying before about this whole thing being a completely Arteta performance, isn't it?
Yep.
Like how can we continue? Like how can people think that we're going to dominate for like 5 years or whatever? Playing this style of football, it's like we live in a mirror dimension. I think so. I feel like this community sometimes, and big up everyone in the chat, big up everyone on the panel, and everyone I interact with all the time because I really appreciate all of you guys. But it's kind of like I feel like we live in a bit of a mirror dimension where we see things in an opposite way, and sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. So because when you get the backlash all the time. But it's like, no, we are being proven that we are being quite consistently. Yes, he's won the title, don't get me wrong, but we are being quite consistently proven right in our kind of like sort of analysis of his issues that Arteta has. And if he doesn't fix up next season, and he's not going to, is he? Because he doesn't know another way of doing it. That's what people don't realize. They kind of say, oh, yeah, well, he's going to let the shackles off. He's not going to let the shackles off, is he? He's not going to do it.
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt he's going to let the shackles off next season, in my personal opinion. I'm in agreement with you with that. I think it would have to be a serious situation for him to let the shackles off. People have come to, and real quick before I even get into that, like what RSV's saying here, we had a very easy run into the final. Let's have it right.
We did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we had a very easy run into the final. Bayer Leverkusen is not the team it was under Xabi Alonso. They weren't that tough. We made that matchup more difficult than it needed to be. Sporting Lisbon we made that way more fucking difficult than it needed to be. And to be honest with you, Sporting Lisbon was their own worst enemy not going forward against us when they tried playing out from the back. Let's just have it right.
Yeah, that's just true.
Atletico, listen, for all case and purposes, you could say there were some situations on both sides in the Atletico game, blah, blah, blah. But Atletico didn't do much of their own favor in that scenario either. So for me, I just don't think we're going to get that, like to RSV is, I don't think we're going to get as easy as a run-in again to try to get to the Champions League final. And when you see what's going on around Europe, you have a scenario where Real Madrid sounds like they're going to invest heavily defensively, which has been their biggest problem. Now, we'll see what kind of chaos Jose Mourinho is going to cause at Real Madrid, because there is going to be chaos with him there. That's just, you could say that, you can argue that chaos is Jose's middle name. So you have that going on. They're talking about Inter's going to get 150 million to spend this year. If Inter gets 150 million to spend and they properly back their team again, I would not be shocked if Inter becomes the problem again next year in the Champions League. That's just my gut feeling. And it's going to be the same thing with, you don't know what's going to happen with City. Barcelona is buffing up. And like I said, if Barcelona gets Hincapié, that's a problem. That's a problem if Barcelona gets Hincapié. So,
Bayern Munich as well. Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with them. The thing with me with Bayern Munich is, and I want to tie this into like what Chike was saying about Maresca. I personally think Bayern Munich is going to be the favored for me next year unless something happens, because I think Vincent Kompany is going to stay at Bayern until he wins the Champions League, and then he's going to go to Manchester City. I think he wants to win a treble with Bayern before he goes to Manchester City and tries to take over the reins from where Pep was at. That's my honest to God feeling of where that's going to go. Liverpool, listen, if Liverpool becomes a completely revamped team and they start playing their old ball under Iraola, they could be a problem in the Champions League as well. So I think the Champions League for me next year is going to be a little bit more difficult. Is going to be a lot more difficult for us than what it was this year. We got very lucky in the knockout stages with the run that we had, but it is what it is as far as that. The other thing that we have to worry about is this World Cup, because we have so many players that are out on internationals. Now, I'll be honest with you, this Saliba news I'm not fucking happy about. If you guys saw it. The fact that Saliba, it sounds like he's pulling out of the World Cup, that he won't even be able to represent France because of the injuries that he's been having to hide pretty much for the entire year, even though all of us know that he's been hurt since the third game of the season against Liverpool. Well, and then you have to start questioning what ends up, and it's the shit like this that we've said on different occasions with this manager, that if you continue to run players into the ground, how much longer, A, do you get lucky that they don't get hurt, but even more so, B, how much longer do they really want to stay at this club and continue to risk getting major injuries? Because for me, a world-class player at the level of Saliba to not be able to go on and represent his country because of being ran into the ground by this manager, any other player may start looking at Arsenal. Yes, they've won the league. Yes, they made the Champions League final, but the ultimate goal for every player at whatever level is to represent their country at the World Cup. That's just what it is at the end of the day, whether anybody likes it or not. And that to me is a concern going forward with Arteta as well, that if guys are going to see that you're going to be risking missing these major international tournaments because he'll run you into the ground, I think that's also something that we need to look at when we talk about transfers coming in and out of Arsenal as well.
So is it an ankle operation? Was it an ankle that he did?
He did an ankle injury at Anfield, and I think he's having a back problem. So
I think it's his lower back as well, outside of his ankle. I think it's the same back issues that like Rice had.
Oh, that's just that's stress from okay.
That's what I mean. It's stress from being ran into the ground and constantly running out of injury that you already have. That's why I'm saying that when you look at it long term. Listen, Saliba and Gabriel for me are the two best center backs in the world right now. That's my personal opinion. People may disagree. I think they're going on form from this year. They're the two best center backs in the world. The fact that one of the best center backs in the world got ran into the ground just to get over the line. And the bigger talking point is this. If we rewind the season walking into the League Cup final, we should have walked away with at least 2 fucking trophies this year. The fact that we only walked away with 1 and we
could have won 3.
Correct. We could have won 3. Hindsight being 2020, you only walked away with 1 and you ran so many people into the ground is a problem because Saliba, I think the talk is that he may not even be ready for the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And the bigger worry is what happens if Rice gets a major injury at this World Cup? We're fucked.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Speaking of back injuries, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He struggled with his lower back. How many times have we seen, him holding his lower back at the end of a game and everything? So what is it with these players who are like, thing with Rice as well is he's a big physical guy. Like, what is it? What's happening? What is this stress? Why, that is causing so many back injuries in young men who generally don't have that many back injuries? And like you're saying, and like we've all said for a while, it's just the stress of
no rest,
no rotation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, him not rotating for long enough during the season or the earlier parts of the season, and then when it comes to the crunch at the end of the season, he can't rotate because he needs these players.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like he fucks himself up, doesn't he? Because
so basically, go on.
Yeah, because he hasn't done it earlier, basically, is what I was saying.
So basically, next season, if he's going to be out in the beginning, so that means a defense of Timber, Mosquera, Gabriel, and Hincapié if he stays. If he doesn't stay, Calafiore, basically. Or Timber in the middle with Gabriel, with Mosquera right back. Great.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not so convincing, is it?
No.
Oh dear.
No, and it's not. It's not only that it's not. Again, it's the fact that they had so many teams. It's the fact that you've had so many of these players been battling injuries for a while. Whether it's an uncomfortable conversation or not, this is why a lot of us still say that one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem with the team, is the manager.
Yeah.
Listen, we won the league. Fantastic. You won the league. But also at the same point, it took you fucking long enough and enough fucking money to spend. Like it's a catch-22 with that. Like, yeah, thank you for finally getting over the hump and winning the league. But at the same time, you spent over $1 billion in 6 years to try to do it. So it kind of was.
And the context is a kind of shit league. I mean, the amount of conversations I've had with people at work or at the gym or at bars or whatever, where they're completely convinced that this is one of the hardest leagues ever to win. They've got people seem to sort of like misunderstand like how just because the playing field has been leveled, that doesn't mean that Burnley have been playing scintillating football. Okay, you could say Brentford, Bournemouth, sure. They've been very impressive. In fact, I think Bournemouth have looked like, to me, one of the most difficult teams we played this season in both games. Agreed. They gave us we were quite fortunate to win at the Vitality, and obviously they absolutely panned us at the Emirates. What? So, like, for me, that's, I would say, almost as weird as it sounds. I say Bournemouth is not. I'm hesitant to say the best team we played because that sounds very strange because it's Bournemouth, but it's certainly one of the best teams we played. Yeah. Obviously, we played PSG, so But Bournemouth were extremely impressive. Brentford was extremely impressive against us, especially away. Sunderland slightly as well. But after that, you're struggling. You're not saying that like there's all these other teams who have been absolutely pamming everyone. So there's this massive conflation that seems to be abiding through so many people about how, like, just because like the playing field seems to be more level, that means that it's a much better quality league. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Everyone has dipped. And the question is that going to be the same next season? And can we kind of get away with it again? Because this is kind of what we've done this season. We've got away with it. And I've loved it. I was down at the Emirates after the Crystal Palace game last Sunday. Not the parade Sunday. Obviously, I was at the parade. I didn't talk about that. Yeah. I met Rashid and Shane at the parade. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet anyone else because it was just so difficult. I've never seen, by the way, if I can just talk about that a second, what it's been like around this area, because I live in Finsbury, I live quite close to Finsbury Park, so I'm North London. I've never seen it like this before. I did warn people. I got most of my mates are Man United and Spurs fans for some stupid, weird quirk of the universe. I just know all my mates are Man United and Spurs. So, like, I was saying to them, and they're quite young as well. So I was saying to them, I say young, I was like 20, late 20s, whatever. And I was saying to them kind of like, you're not going to be ready for how many Arsenal fans there's going to be. And I've never seen this area like it before. This, even where I am now, which is kind of like, say, sort of half an hour from Finsbury Park on the tube, or 20 minutes, half an hour, full of Arsenal fans down here, full of Arsenal fans over there. Hornsey Road is just Hornsey Park Road is over there. I've never seen anything like it. I've never gotten off the tube at Finsbury Park and then not been able to move for about half an hour. It was unbelievable. If you were claustrophobic, to be fair, you'd have fucking hated that shit. There was like me and a few of the people were having to kind of like try and say, look, guys, just stay calm. We're going to move. We're going to move. And what didn't help as well is they started sounding off an alarm. I've never heard that as well on the tube. So basically, I got off. I was heading to the parade to meet Shane and Rashid, and I got off. And you get onto the platform, complete roadblock. Everyone's roadblocked. You can't get up the stairs or anything like that. And then, as if that wasn't all enough, because we're not moving, suddenly you just hear der emergency. Please leave the station. Der emergency, and like. That, and everyone's starting to kind of look at each other like, what's going on? Is there like a fight? Like, people are getting a bit like sort of like weirded out by it. So we were kind of like trying to, reassure people who are around us, sort of thing. But yeah, I've just never seen this area like it. And it was a wonderful thing. It was just obviously tinged by the fact that a few hours earlier, we had the extremely emotionally draining experience of losing a Champions League final. But like, yeah, when you got down there was, that it was, you were talking to so many different people. You just bump into people, chat to people, and all this kind of stuff. It was just a shame that I couldn't get to see more, like, like Aaron. Oh no, I met Darkside as well. We met Darkside briefly, me, Shane, and Rashid. So that was good. We were trying to meet a few of the others, and it was just so impossible to coordinate. Because it was, I think they reckon it was 580K. I don't know. I've never managed these kind of events, but it was just a fuckload of people. And it was a great experience, I must say. And you know what? Like you just said, Johnny, credit to him for winning the title. If he hadn't have won the title, I wouldn't have had that experience. I wouldn't have had these memories. So cool. But my point is, to do this again, we are going to need to be a lot better. Because we've kind of fallen over the line, in my opinion.
Agreed. I think the same thing. Listen, Chelsea absolutely capitulated. I don't know. I think Chelsea, with Xabi Alonso and the fact that he's actually going to be able to work with that team because they won't have European football, Chelsea could potentially be a top 6 side again. I don't think Chelsea's going to be in a title race. I'm not a believer in that. But I do think Chelsea's going to return to either 6th, 5th, or maybe 4th at a stretch. Now, here's the only other thing that I want to raise to why we need to up the ante and keep the level up. It's not like it's Aston Villa or Chelsea that's in the Europa League. Yes, you have Sunderland, you have Crystal Palace, and you have Bournemouth that are in the Europa League. Bournemouth is going to be selling players. Sunderland, I don't know. They may buy a couple players. Palace may buy a player here or there, but I think Palace is still going to have to offload their very good players. We may not get the coefficient. That is something that we do need to come to a realization for, that it's not like it's an Aston Villa and a Chelsea or a Manchester United that's in the Europa League. These are the mid-table to lower table clubs that are in the Europa League this year. They could all potentially get knocked out in an earlier stage than what we've seen the English teams get knocked out of in the past. And that's why, for me, you have to up the ante, because I don't want to be, in a fight for 4th hoping that we get the coefficient again because of success, and we have to win off of somebody else's help. I'm not trying to do that. That's why I think we need to at least maintain top 3 next year if we're not going to win the Premier League and, like I said, the domestic trophies. As far as the parade, I'm glad that there was that much of a fucking turnout, because I'm sick of hearing that we're not the biggest team in London anymore.
Oh, it was
no other team, no other club would have shut down London the way I saw some of those scenes over there. That shit was insane. I wish I could have been there for that.
It was just crazy. I was just kind of like, how am I stood in this station for this long and nobody's moving? Number one, it was kind of like, how are you managing this, by the way? But then they took us up some spiral staircase, and then because there's a spiral staircase at Finsbury Park and as part of one of the exits, but they all shuffled us up there for some reason, and then they shuffled us towards the exit, and then they moved us back away from the exit, so we kind of could see the exit there. And then they were like, no, you need to come over here. And then they put us all the way back down there. But basically, I think what they were trying to do was like put us round to the back of the station, which I kind of get now, having seen what it was. It was bedlam, man. It was absolute bedlam. But it was very enjoyable bedlam. It was just because there was Aaron was unfortunately I couldn't meet with Aaron, DJB, Kenny, Jamboy, Lion Tex, I can't remember who else was supposed to be there.
Jay Lux was with them, because I got Jay Lux. Shout out to Jay Lux. He called me on FaceTime off of WhatsApp. You guys were already out in force at like noon. It was 6 o'clock in the morning over here. I just rolled out of bed when they called me up, so I was still feeling it from the night before. Big up Micah, man, my guy. I haven't seen you in a while in the chat, bro. I hope everything's all good with you, brother. Maybe Sunderland will spend some money. I think Brighton win. Listen, I think whoever the English team that goes into the Conference League every year, if you don't win, it's kind of a failure with the rest of the teams that you're going up against in that competition. So I do think Brighton wins that, but I don't know if, as far as in the Europa League, if they're going to pull it as far as that. As far as the parade, from the pictures that I saw, the only thing that I've seen that was like that was when the Chicago Cubs won. The Cubs hadn't won. It's baseball. They hadn't won in 109 years, and the Cubs have like the second or third largest fan base in America for baseball. And like the Cubs, I think the city of Chicago said the overall parade throughout the city of Chicago brought an extra 6 million people into the city for it. It's like the Cubs winning is, I think, like top 10 largest just overall human gatherings, which is insanity. But the scenes from the parade looked awesome, and I was very happy to see that. You know,
it was almost kind of surreal. Like it was like we got to. So I met Shane and Rashid just sort of like outside Finsbury Park Station eventually. That was in of itself difficult to coordinate. And then we went into Finsbury Park and round the corner, and then when you could just see everyone on the roofs. Everyone was on roofs. Everyone was kind of like, the police had just kind of like given up on a lot of things at this point. I think they were just like, oh, okay, just as long as you're not too bad, just do whatever. And because there's so many people to manage, it's a little bit of a nightmare, I suppose. And plus it's North London, which, you know, is a debatable area, let's put it that way, but I won't get into that. But yeah, no, it was just very, very surreal. But I guess also that surreality is because it's been 22 years since I've experienced that. You know?
Antonio, what do you make of this, man? I've said it a million times. I don't want Rafael Leao anywhere near this fucking club.
No.
Leao for me is a lost cause. He should have made his move when Napoli won the first Scudetto, when they got Milan to the semifinal of the Champions League. Leao should have made the move then. He hasn't. The guy doesn't look like he is that he cares anymore. Yes, I know he's talking about he wants a new chapter in his career and all that nonsense. I don't think Leao is good enough for Arsenal. What do you guys think?
Absolutely not. No.
What do you think?
I just feel like he's just too inconsistent. One game he looks good, then the next game he doesn't look great. And you got to have a winger that's actually going to step up. But the guy just runs, but I just don't think he's that great. I mean, I wouldn't take him. I just don't, want him anywhere near my club. Obviously, Rob, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember during the parade, I know I didn't see you, but I was at the parade, right? They were trying to sing that song. I tried my best not to sing that song.
You were at the parade? I didn't realize you were there, man. We should have.
I didn't go to the parade because I need to tell you guys something about me. I have autism, and for us autism people, we're not very used to like crowds of people, noises, and like banging noises. So that's why I didn't go to the parade, because I have autism. So that's why.
It would have been tricky for you, like I mean, even it was tricky. It was a bit tricky at points for sure, man. I definitely understand that. Kwaja, sorry, what we said. Go on, sorry, Kwaja, what were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about. I was at the parade. I know there was too many people. I was just saying Arsenal, and they were trying to sing that cringe song, and I tried my best to keep my mouth shut. So
which one? The North London Forever.
Yeah.
I actually didn't hear
don't
it,
sing that song, Kwaja. It's embarrassing.
I actually didn't hear it. Thankfully, you must have been in a part where they were like trying to sing that, but
yeah, they were just trying to sing it. But
Troops is basically, Troops. He's a bit angry with Simon Jordan. Apparently, Simon Jordan's been making a lot of comments about Arsenal.
Well, he made a lot of comments about AFTV and the like the different social media channels that are dedicated to different teams, but he was coming at the likes of the specific people that AFTV are. Like, he was coming at Robbie very headstrong. He did name Troops' name. He did name Troops by name in what he was saying, and I didn't really.
Simon Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah, but Troops
I
is
watched
not on
it.
AFTV anymore. He has his own channel. So why is Simon Jordan targeting Troops?
I think Simon Jordan doesn't know. I think Simon Jordan doesn't try to jump in, but it is what it is. I'm not trying to excuse him, because I thought what Simon Jordan was saying was a little was a little crazy, but it is what it is. The thing, though, what Simon Jordan, I think, was trying to raise, because there's this huge question that everybody in like the massive media is trying to ask, is why we're, you see guys like who's the one guy that Shane always makes fun of? He's fucking hilarious.
Egal.
Not Egal. It's not Egal.
Canton, Simeon.
Simiu was Simiu.
Oh, Harry.
Harry got
Zippy
on there and sounded like he was crying at the fact that Gabby Agbonlahor and the other moron were being pro PSG, and he was like, "Why won't you guys be pro Arsenal?" And it's like, dude, first of all, they're not Arsenal fans. Your rival is not going to root for you. I'm sorry, I don't know what fucking world you live in, but your rival's not going to root for you.
Yeah.
Right? That's number one. Number two, everybody who looks like all these people are trying to find a reason. They're like, oh, why does everybody not like Arsenal? Everybody's talking about how they don't like Arsenal, blah, blah, blah. Brother, here's the problem at the end of the day, whether anybody likes it or not. Again, Jason Cundy, that's his name. Jason Cundy. Thanks, PFC. But here's the problem. When you got guys that are trying to say that Calafiore is going to be on the same level of Paolo Maldini, that's where you start dealing with the stupidity to why
Who said that?
Arsenal.
Who said that?
No. Like
Agbonlahor, one of these guys.
No. Jason Cundy and Agbonlahor didn't say that. What I'm saying is these guys are all asking a question of, why the guys who want to surround everything around Arsenal, like they all ask, why is there so much hatred towards Arsenal? Well, I'm sorry. When 70% of the fan base is saying crazy shit, comparing players on Arsenal who haven't won anything up until this year to the greatest players that have ever played this game, I'm sorry, that's where a lot of the hatred comes from.
Yeah.
When you start saying that Mikel Arteta has already surpassed Sir Alex Ferguson as the best manager, I'm sorry, that's where a lot of people send the hate, because they're looking at you. Why are you saying something so ridiculous? You know, when you got guys coming out here saying, I can't name 5 managers better than Mikel Arteta, well, I can at least name 10.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are we doing here? Like, this is the reason why the Arsenal fan base is scrutinized the way that it is. Again,
they just can't. They can't. Like, why does it have to be so extreme? It's like we're not oblivious to the fact that, okay, Arteta came in as a novice, not knowing kind of really what he was doing per se. And he then kind of like, after a couple of seasons or so, through 3 seasons, started to get the team competing again. So we're not oblivious to that fact. But at the end of the day, why do you guys need to go so fucking far with it?
Exactly.
And with the rest of the players? And that's exactly why all these different things that they say are exactly the reasons why people like us get fucked over. Because I think I've said this before when I've jumped on Gianni. It's like, I will go to the gym, I'll go to a bar, and people say that I'm an Arsenal fan. Like, I meet someone for the first time, they'll see I'm an Arsenal fan, and you see them almost kind of like not roll their eyes, but you see them kind of go.
They're very reserved because they're worried that you're going to be one of them ultimate crazy top
deluded weirdos, yeah. And so obviously
exactly.
they talk to me for a bit, and they're like, "Oh, okay, he's not so bad." But like initially, you get that reaction now. And I've been supporting Arsenal since 1993. I've been in London since 2003. This is a phenomenon that's only existed in the past couple of years or so. Like, you used to have respectful conversations as an Arsenal fan with people. Let's say back in like 2004, 5, whatever. You would have people have a respect for you. We've obviously lost that respect because we haven't won anything for so long. I say won anything. We know we won a few FA Cups, obviously, and of course the league title this season. But for a long time, we'd lost that respect. But now the disrespect we get is because of these fucking idiots who give us all the bad.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know Egal. I don't know him at all. He has some crazy takes for me. I do disagree with a lot of what he says, but I don't know at the end of the day with him. But when you sit here and say, like, I remember the argument that him and Hooks had, where Hooks asked him, he goes, if you gave Arsene Wenger $1 billion, you're telling me he's not winning the league. And he turns around and says, I don't know if Arsene Wenger would win the league with $1 billion. I'm sorry. You could have gave Arsene Wenger $200 million from the season that we let Robin Van Persie go. If you keep Robin Van Persie with the team we have, we walk the fucking league. So it's like, those are the type of takes that I have a problem with. Those are the type of takes that I have a problem with. And I think a lot of other people have a problem with that stuff because it's like, dude, you're basing your statements on nothing. Again, yes, Arteta won the league, and this is going to be a very interesting summer on how much banter is going to be going back from that side of the fan base talking absolute nonsense. But again, when you have guys like Julian from AFTV talking about Arteta's already better than Sir Alex Ferguson, I'm sorry.
Did he actually say that? Sir?
Yeah, he said that.
He did
Yeah,
say
you
that.
said that.
Really? He said that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's like Sir Alex Ferguson's the greatest manager of all time. So I'm sorry, Arteta's not the greatest manager of all time. Let's just be real about it. So it's like, for the people who are trying to play a game where they don't understand why the Arsenal fan base gets bastardized the way that it does, it's because of that. You don't, as you said, Rob, you don't need to take it that far. If you want to make general comparisons of players, of what our players could potentially end up having a career like if it went a certain way, that's all fine and dandy. But the fact of, I think it was Julian on AFTV that said, oh, the block that Calafiori had against Everton was very Maldini-esque. It's like, bro, the fuck about? Why are we comparing Ricardo Calafiori to Paolo Maldini?
oh.
He also it was the same guy that blamed the Queen's death as to why we bottled the 8-point lead into 2020.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing, and that's the other thing, the other thing about it when it comes to the Arsenal fan base is how many ridiculous statements has Arteta made over the years, and majority of the fan base tries to jump on it and say, oh, you're
correct. Yeah.
Remember, this guy came up with when we lost to Newcastle in the League Cup semifinal last year, he said it was because it was a different ball. Like, I'm sorry.
And also,
you say stupid shit like that, you are going to reap hellfire of pundits who are just going to look at you like you're nuts.
And also,
it goes with the territory with that.
and also as well, when we lost 2-1 to Bournemouth, in his press conference before the match, he was saying, "Bring your lunch, bring your breakfast, bring your food, guys." Like,
Yeah.
and guess what happened? We got slapped by Bournemouth. And then after the match, Gyökeres then came out and said, "Oh, but the pitch was too dry." Oh,
Yeah,
but
too dry. Yeah.
yeah, that's what Gyökeres said
I
after
think-
the match.
I think what he was trying to say is that in that moment it was a little bit dry for me to hit. I kind of got that one. Like, I know it sounds a bit ridiculous. I kind of got what he was saying. I think he just didn't really express it that well. But it's just kind of like, yeah, no, you guys are right, man. It's just kind of like the amount of general nonsense that comes out of this football club, and it never used to be like this.
No,
Even
Yeah,
when we were in that
never.
banter era, the ironic thing is people go, "Oh, well, he saved us from our banter era." Okay, cool. We've won the title this season. I get that. That's cool. But for a long they've been saying this for years before we won the title. But
Yeah.
and, like we haven't been saved from a sort of banter era, or whatever you want to call it, because people have still been taking the piss out of us for like finishing second and not winning and never being able to get over the line and not being able to deal with pressure situations and all that kind of stuff. So there's just it's just a massive misunderstanding, and it's like it's the cult like element of it. It's like when I was, again, going back to when I was at the bar for the Champions League final, the conversations you have with people, you forget, like, because I guess I get so engrossed, and you can maybe call it an echo chamber to some degree, being in this wonderful community and stuff. But also it's kind of like, I am on X, to be fair, as well, so I do see the other side of things. But you sometimes get a little bit too engrossed in the community, and you forget that people out there, they just have a mad obsession with this guy, like a real obsession with him. It's like, whether it's daddy issues, whatever it is. For me, when I speak to them, it's kind of like you're cussing out their wife or girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's the reaction I get. It's like such a visceral reaction. It's such a, like, I just feel like if you're gonna knock, like, it's just maybe how other people would react if you're like taking the piss out of their wife, and it's like it's unbelievable, honestly. And it's like, seriously, guys, let's not go too far here. Let's not, because, you know, for those guys as well, in a few years, if and when this doesn't work out, you could be in some psychological problems. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. If it came, this is hilarious. PFC, you're a goat for this. A quote from
Is that what he
Julian
said?
after the final. He goes, "We didn't lose the
What's
game.
that?
We lost on penalties."
Oh my days.
It still means you lost. Fuck.
You still lost the game, though. It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah,
on
you
penalties.
still lost it. Who won the trophy, dude?
Yeah, was Arsenal holding? See, and it's shit like that. To why pundits are still questioning why Arsenal's been hated. Well, this is a reason why. When you got stupid comments like this, you got stupid comments like this. You got certain people who want to set up the whole way they look to mimic a look of a fucking player. I think we all know who I'm alluding to with that one. He should leave the Declan Rice gimmick alone. It's just absolutely nonsense. It's fucking insane. But, you know,
you talk to these people, but it really hits home to you, because like we are quite lucky to have our community and like all the great content creators that we have in the community. But it really kind of hits home sometimes when you go to a situation like that where there's a bunch of Arsenal fans together, and you're trying to kind of say, well, you know, he has done a decent job to get us challenging. I'm not saying that it's like horrendous or whatever, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's one trophy out of 25. And they look at you just like, what the fuck are you saying? How dare you? It's like a how dare you say this reaction. And it's like, this is what it is when there's a cult leader like this who's got such a stranglehold, and he has, through various PR elements, mainly through certain phrases like trust the process, unprecedented. This is how cults work. You have certain phrases that you use, And that's how you kind of hammer things home to people and kind of enamor them and, manipulate them. And it's all very manipulative. And sometimes I just stand there and I think, oh, fucking hell, this is just stupid to me.
Yeah, what was the game? What was the game where they were blaming the weather? Was it the Wolves game up at when we were away to Wolverhampton?
I think it might have been that, maybe. Yeah.
They were blaming
Well,
the
I think
weather
it was.
for that.
Was it the Brentford game when we drew 1-1 to them?
It could have been the Brentford game. It could have
Yeah.
been the Brentford game. But it's like that, when you start saying stupid shit like that, it's, we lost because of the weather. Well, the other team had to play in the same weather. So
Exactly.
it's only raining on the one side of the pitch that Arsenal's on. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, and also like in the full-time whistle against Wolves, like Jesus was having a go at someone after the match. He was like doing some pushing on someone, and then he had to be restrained by Calafiori. Like, why? Like, this is the problem I have with the players at Arsenal. After when the match is over, why do they always engage in conflict? Why can't you just engage in conflict like when in the middle of the match? It's because Jesus, for me, like, I just don't know what I just don't understand why at the end of the match he started having a go at one of the Wolves players.
Yeah, when you didn't want to have a go the whole fucking game when you came on, you saved having a go when the full-time whistle was blown.
Yeah. Wow.
It's absolute nonsense. But listen, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I have a very early day at work, so we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate all your guys'
Big up,
time.
Gianni, man.
Big up, my guy.
Appreciate all your guys' time.
Big up, my guy.
Quaja, you want to shout out your channel before we bounce, my friend?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. I've got my channel as well, so you can go and subscribe to me. So yeah, it's been a great show, and obviously, everyone's gonna still say, but why does everyone hate Arsenal? Now that does it. Now explain to us why. I mean, if you look at our fan base, they just speak absolute delusion, and that's why everyone hates us.
Exactly. Rob, you want to shout your channel out before we bounce?
Yeah, do you know what? Like I do have my channel. It's at Rob Future. If anyone likes cinematography, I also do like my own music and cinematography on at Reality Generation Studios. So if that's something that interests you, if you like sort of like trippy, kind of like atmospheric sort of cinematography, Alex Garland style, Blade Runner style, Dune style type stuff, that's what I'm aiming for anyway. So sorry to shamelessly plug that a little bit. I didn't even intend to, but you just mentioned, you know what I mean? So I thought, let me give it a little plug. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's it. And so, yeah, good to share the power. I wasn't going to jump on. I've still felt a bit sort of depressed the last few days, but I'm glad I jumped on. So it's good to see you all, and good to meet you, Antonio. Good to see you, Macy, as usual. Quadra, obviously, Gianni, goes without saying. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys soon, probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We will.
And big up all the chat legends, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, and big up the chat, all the legends in the chat, PFC, Gavin, Tigre, all the usuals that are always around supporting. Appreciate everybody always. Antonio, if you're free tomorrow, I'll send you the link. We're going to be covering Napoli in the Serie A tomorrow, and we will be going.
Okay, cool.
We'll be going over Napoli with a fine-tooth comb with all this bullshit that's going on. So,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Macy, appreciate your time as always, my friend. And yeah, guys. I
just got my very own World Cup book for this summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice one, man.
And you know what the best thing is that whenever a game like is over, I could at least like write down the result on the there's on the bottom where like on the games when one of the game ends, I will like write down the result of the game.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. But hope all of you guys have a blessed night. We will be back tomorrow. And I'll probably do another call-in show towards the end of the weekend. So hope you guys all have a good rest of the week. And yeah, we're out.
Peace out.
Take care.
Ciao.
Night.